And we are coming down in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm your host, Cupcake the Riddler, and I'm joined by
Mark.
Sheen Washable.
Yep. Mojito.
You're up next.
Oh, I'm CJ.
And the Red Baron.
No.
Yeah, we're pretty cool.
Kettle's always showing off in front of his friends.
Yeah.
Well, we put that name to a vote.
That was a fan vote.
It was
It
a
had
fan
like
vote.
7 votes.
Yeah, versus the 15 that voted.
The thing is, this doesn't really matter. That's what it would have been.
Yeah.
It's either that or Kenny Sunkiss.
Which I wish won, because that's what I voted for.
I'd like to rehash the vote and just put the rat in.
The rat. All right, if you want to take it to a vote again, I'll be the rat.
And the rat.
It's really grown on me.
Can we call him Jason Worth the Rat?
Oh. Now you're just souring a good nickname.
You called him a rat before we ever started?
Sewer rat.
Okay, fine. So we'll call him Sewer Rat.
Yeah, well, actually, I kind of look like him now. If I had,
You don't
brown
look like
hair.
him.
Yeah,
No.
a little bit.
Kendall, you gotta
you
be
look
like
like-
a foot taller and 30 pounds lighter.
How tall is he?
He was a tall guy.
Who are you talking about?
Was?
Fairly
Jason
tall.
Worth.
He was like 6'4".
I think he was
I'm
taller than
6'2".
that. He was taller than
All right,
that.
let's let Wikipedia decide.
He was
You
like
look more
7
like Eric
foot
Rowan's
6.
ball sack.
Not
What?
6'6".
You do. Starting lineup. We're back, by the way. Yeah, we weren't here last week due to inclement weather. Kendall was very upset about it, but Mock and I didn't feel like risking our lives.
Listen, I understand. I
No,
respect.
you didn't. You were like harping on it the whole time.
I
Like,
just
what,
wanted to know.
What if we all Skype in? You guys should sleep in my
I didn't
house.
say that.
You did. You offered us to sleep at your house.
I didn't say that. I may have thought it.
You said it because once you realized there was a chance we weren't having a show, you started drinking at 2, and you were like, "I'm gonna get drunk now."
I didn't even. I did drink that day, but I didn't. Not right away. I had one of those.
Jason Worth
Highlands.
is 6'5".
You had one,
I had one.
and what else?
That's it.
I don't buy that.
But the party I had
One
on Saturday.
shelf.
Remember I invited you guys to the party?
That you were going to by yourself.
Yeah, it was fun. Good time. I had one of those and some PPRs.
Home, beer cans, and everywhere.
It's fine though.
Some PBRs. Then
Some. I watched one of the Pink Panther movies from the 70s. It was a lot of fun.
So happy I didn't go.
Well, we wouldn't have done that if people were there.
Yeah, we
What's
would
he
have
gonna
watched
do
the
by
Pink
myself?
Panther movie from the 2000s.
I watched that a couple weeks ago.
Just on a kick.
Yeah, it's like, let's see what Steve Martin's doing. I saw the movie in theaters,
Did you walk out?
but I didn't pay for it, so.
Special guest CJ.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Welcome. What are your sports teams?
Dolphins, Knicks, and Yankees.
Yikes.
Weird bunch. Yeah, weird bunch, but
Yuck, yeah.
You got a hockey team?
I don't follow hockey, but if I did, it would be the Rangers.
No, you're Blackhawks fan. That's how it works.
That Rangers team that I know is like the Chris Drury, like back in like the early 2000s. So I don't follow hockey that much.
Not them anymore. That's not who they are. It's like someone coming like, yeah, I was like a big Patrick Ewing Knicks fan. Like, have you watched the game recently? Because big difference.
Yeah, they're not very good.
They're just as good.
The
Starting lineup. Oh, go ahead.
The GM of the Doolin just fell asleep at like the league meeting, like
Nice.
NBA league meeting. I was like, this is why we're bad. Like our general manager's falling asleep.
Have a cup of coffee, why
Yeah.
don't you?
Put some effort into it.
See Kittle showing off over there with his like one-liners. Yeah. Have a cup of coffee, why don't you?
I thought I'm always like this. Am I not?
You're
Not
funny.
really.
You're not funny.
Oh, that's a bummer. I mean, we're like 150 shows in.
You're just finding out.
It's like when they told me I couldn't sing. Like, oh, you're tone deaf. I was like, God. It's a bummer.
Yeah,
Stop
stick
singing
with
aloud.
that. Starting lineup, Souls. Oh, sorry, Mojito.
Mojito is drinking Super Duper Double Citro. It's what I had in the fridge.
Who makes it, Kyle?
They know. I've said it 100 times. And last
New
week.
listeners.
All right. It's made
Maybe
by,
CJ's never had that beer.
I have not.
It's from Thomas Hooker Brewery.
Where are they from?
I don't know.
How do you not know yet?
I didn't look at that part.
How do you fucking not know yet?
Bloomfield, Connecticut.
Boomfield.
I said Bloom.
Boomin'.
I kind of like Boomfield more.
Yeah. Kyle, you didn't close the fridge door. Could you please go do that?
Yeah, I just realized that.
Mock was in there last.
I don't think that's true.
That's why there's a draft.
Might have been.
That's
me.
not true.
That's why there's a draft. That's not even how fridges work.
No, there's a draft because it's the only plausible way to get collegiate athletes into professional sports. See, Kendall, that's humor. That's funny, right?
He achieved it.
Machine?
I have from Pipeworks Brewing in Chicago the Lizard King Mosaic Hopped Pale Ale.
Not very good.
Love the can.
Yeah.
Yeah, good looking can.
They make good artwork. Except for the Pilsner that they make. There's like a naked mermaid on it, but it's a man.
I was gonna say, so far I'm in.
CJ, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking.
Very colorful over there.
Oh yeah, dog, little yellow and pink. Kind of caught my eye. Got the Dogfish Head. Got the American Beauty Hazy Ripple IPA.
Ripple. You?
From Still Hill Brewery in Rocky Hill, Connecticut. Mugga Joe. Never had any of their products. It was in the fridge. We'll give it a shot.
What's up, Drew? You've had like 6
Have a
of those.
coffee one
Have I?
time.
Yeah, there's your cup of coffee.
Yeah. It's a double coffee step.
Your bad joke came full.
Conditioned with coffee beans.
Oh,
Oh my god, Rebecca over here. I
Now,
know there's coffee
as the
involved.
person in this group that deems themselves the beer master, the person who knows the most about beer.
That's not true.
Yes, he said it several times. He's like, I could outdrink you. That means he knows more about beer than us.
That's not.
So what does
that's
it
not
mean?
what it means.
What do you mean you condition with coffee beans?
I assume that you throw it at the beer until it gets tough.
until it gets tough.
No, I don't know what that means.
No, all right. Well, you should do more homework, beer expert.
I'm not the beer expert.
He said it several times. You guys have heard him, right? Didn't you guys hear that? Didn't he say like, "Hey guys, I got a promotion. I'm a rat. I know everything there is to know about beer.
I'm a big shot
So
now.
I'm
Yeah.
texting the second line. Yeah, I'm a rat.
I'm a real douche now that I got this promotion." I'm drinking from the Bourbon County Collection, the 2019 edition, the Brand Moan Cherry Stout.
Ooh.
That's like, see, he gets it. It's a stout aged in bourbon barrels with cherries, granola, oats, brown sugar, and 100% natural flavor added.
They teamed up with Quaker to make
From
that beer.
Chicago. That one tickled Kyle over there. He got a good, he's got a good Mexican like Home Depot laugh going with the mustache because
Home Depot laugh.
well, because from over here there's like a shadow from the microphone like right over his lips, so his mustache looks darker. So he looks extremely Mexican right now.
Si, senor.
Hence Mojito.
Gilberto Mojito.
Hombre.
Toast of Excellence. Maxine, do you have one?
I do.
I have several.
Mine is going to Steven Strasburg.
Got it right.
Yeah, that's it.
But
I got it right.
what's that?
Strasburg. From our free agency
Oh.
thing.
Yeah, you got one right, by the way.
You and I are leading.
Fuck
We,
you.
we both have one right. You got Cole Hamels.
What did I?
Yeah, just to be a dick. And it actually happened.
Hamlays to the. Hey, he looks like a Brave, Kyle.
Cole Hamley's 35.
But yeah, Strasburg, I believe, signed the biggest contract to date.
For now.
For now, yes. Till the Yankees give Garrett Cole $700 billion.
This is ridiculous.
I'm okay with that.
But, you know, good on him. Stayed with the hometown squad. I like it. Go Steve.
Big pat on the back for
Anyone
Steve.
else?
Solzays?
Mine's a Carmelo Anthony
No.
for signing.
God, Jeff Martin.
What? He signed a.
He's a Jeff Martin wannabe.
I could just say it because they always want to interrupt me.
Jack, go get your cowboy boots and maybe we'll let you say it.
Nope.
Nah, go ahead.
It's just a Carmelo Anthony. They all know.
Jesus. I guess Kendall doesn't like Mello.
Oh, Barkley towards ACL.
Kyle, that's not even funny.
Kyle, why is it mellow?
Because you just signed a fuck. You made me lose my train of thought.
A fully guaranteed contract.
Yes, there we go. Thank you, Michael.
That was really odd.
Didn't care for it.
Yeah. So CJ, you've seen how things work. You care to?
Yeah, I'll dabble. So my toast of excellence, I'm gonna go to Vince Carter. He put one of the Charlotte Hornets in a little spin cycle. Did a little pump fake, spin, came back, stepped back for the three. He got back to the free throw line. He was pretty shocked himself, but shout out to the ancient ageless wonder. You know, still got it.
Really makes the All-Star team.
Cool.
Might just give it to
Courtesy vote.
I mean, didn't they do that for like Dirk and
Dwayne
Yeah,
Wade.
they did.
yeah, Just kind of throw him out there.
There's a lot of talk of how like he shouldn't even be playing, like give a new guy a roster spot. But he's go as long as you can, man.
Yeah,
Like if
who
you could
cares?
still ball, let's see it. I think that like one of the youngest teams in the league, but they still have Vince Carter, so that just shows how young the Hawks are. So
Yeah.
Like, hey, here's a bunch of 18-year-olds and a 57-year-old.
Yeah, Trey Young's not happy right now.
he's balling though, 5th in the league in scoring.
He's not happy about the winning right now.
Yeah.
Paul, your toast.
No, Kendall's next.
Oh, Kendall.
Did you guys catch that Ravens-Bills game and the heads-up play when the printout paper of the play sheet?
Oh yeah.
That was very funny.
That was good heads. That was the most important thing you could have done. Ran over to that and grabbed that play sheet and quick study.
Quick.
Probably thought it was
Last
a food
second.
menu.
There was also the point in the game where the Bills were trying to take a snap offensively in the red zone, and there was one of the Ravens was just like on their side of the field. And then the caption everybody posted was like, "Everyone's done this in Madden."
Like when you're starting to get frustrated, you just gotta hit the quarterback, take the penalty.
I would have missed the quarterback.
Yeah, he would have.
I can't tackle in that game.
You can't complete passes either
I could do that.
to the other team
Only once a game.
in the last 2 minutes on the game-winning drive.
Follow us until then.
I have two. One is not traditional sports related, but one is to Kevin Nash and the rest of the NWO for being elected into the WWE Hall of Fame. Come on, Mike.
Kevin Nash sucks.
The guy's honestly probably the best WWE superstar all time.
Even you don't believe that.
Shawn Michaels couldn't lace his boots.
He's not on my Mount Rushmore of.
He's on my Mount Rushmore of people named Diesel.
Kevin Nash is the worst.
Okay.
Him, it's him.
You can't wait to break Rebecca's llama thing.
You mean her pants?
No,
You're gonna break her pants? It's Kendall's job, you gross person.
the other thing.
And then my
Just
real
pulls
one,
up a picture of that stupid fuck.
my real one is anybody who knows me knows that I'm a big Jurassic Park guy, like dinosaurs. So Alexander Johnson from the Denver Broncos, his not sack celebration, but like his like big tackle whatever celebration, is he like gets up and he's like squatting down and he does like this like dinosaur thing where he roars at the guy that he tackled. And they asked him why he does that, and he says, because everyone likes to call themselves the goat, and I'm the dinosaur, and dinosaurs eat goats. And I just thought it was funny because I'd never heard of this guy before I saw that. So I was just like, that's even better that it's somebody you don't know. But it's just very funny to watch him do it.
Oh, and he got cut.
It's fucked up, man.
Thought someone would have laughed at that. Thanks, guys.
All right, so we're cracking. Oh my!
Been kind to me last few years.
I'm not going to join in because I don't want to take like a long chug of this. I need to savor this. But
Oh, no.
all right, we're going to do a sip of silence as well for Pete Freites. Anybody else see that?
Yeah. R.I.P.
Pete Freites passed away. Do you know who that is, Kendall?
I don't think I do.
He was a college baseball player that got diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease. So an athlete. He's a Red Sox fan. I'm pretty sure he got carted onto the field for the World Series.
They
the
had
last
him
one.
out,
Yeah. But he's credited with being like one of the main people who created the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge.
Oh.
And we lost him today. So sip of silence to Pete Freites. Oh my.
That's the first of its kind, right? Or
No, not the first of its kind. Mark, you feel like driving tonight?
I could.
22.3%.
Oh, my God.
No, I'm just kidding. All right, so you guys can kind of like talk. Kyle, why don't you do the music thing that Kendall loves to do real quick?
Oh, boy.
oh yeah, hold on, look at that queued up.
I gotta run to the car, so
So we're gonna do
Watch out for that puddle.
our NFL week recap.
Let me tell you something. I'm not good at this, but we're gonna try it.
Kyle,
This
you're,
is-
you're getting better.
This is
I
one
did
of
it once.
my highlights of the show. We played so often, you think it'd just be like the top thing on YouTube, but nope, I guess
Yeah,
not.
no, you'd think the game would be on the big screen.
All right, hold on, guy. I got you.
Got some fantasy implications here.
Throw a touchdown right now.
Okay, you got the stuff queued up.
Yeah. Who's the Thursday night game?
Bears, Cowboys.
Why isn't it on here? Oh, that's why.
'Cause you're looking at next week's games.
No, we're going to December 8th to cock.
All right, you ready?
No, let me get to December 5th. There we
What
go.
do you like out of the newspaper? Like, let me page back a second. Oh no, an ad. Ignore it.
Unlike
Ignore it.
consoles,
Oh my
Stadia doesn't take up any
God.
space.
Unbelievable.
Not
you
being
know?
paid for that.
This is pretty much why Kendall won't make it in radio.
Yeah.
I didn't know we were starting. You didn't tell me yet.
All right,
All right,
we
whatever.
do this every week. Hold on.
Wasn't paying attention.
Hold on. All right, you ready now?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, here we go.
Thursday night. The Dallas Cowboys went to Chicago to lose again. Jason Garrett fired? Not yet. Stay tuned, folks. Then on to Sunday, the Atlanta Falcons played the Carolina Panthers, where Panthers sucked. Ron Rivera, first game absent after the firing, didn't go so well. Falcons win 40-20. Possibly game of the week, Ravens played the Bills in Buffalo. Ravens played well enough to beat the Bills. Not great, though. Ravens win 24-17. Bengals, Browns. This game doesn't really mean anything, but Odell wants out. Shocker.
Fake
get 'em.
news. Fake news.
It's not fake news.
It's fake.
Browns win 27-19. Packers, Skins. Aaron Rodgers doesn't look great. So Packers win ugly, 2015. Broncos, Texans. Buzz Lightyear takes down the Texans 38-24. Drew Lock, 3 touchdowns early. Enough to hold off the Houston Texans.
No enthusiasm.
Vikings, Lions. Vikings play their football. Lions don't have a quarterback. Vikings win 27. Game of the year. 49ers, Saints. Saints took the late lead to make it 46. What was it, 46-45? Something like that. 49ers marched right down the field to kick the game-winning field goal.
In 53 seconds.
Kittle on that one.
Kittle made one of the best plays of the year.
Oh,
Excuse
on
me,
the
you guys are
face mask,
interrupting
10 extra yards.
What?
You guys are interrupting me.
No, go ahead. I thought you were trying to buy some time.
Dolphins, Jets. Dolphins kicking, couldn't get it done. Fell short 22-21. Colts, Buccaneers. Mike Evans catches 61-yard touchdown, out for a year. Colts try whatever they can to keep up with the Bucs. Couldn't do it. Fell short 38-35. On to the 4 o'clock game. Chargers, Jags. Minshew Magic over? Phillip Rivers and company takes care of the Jags 45-10. Chiefs, Pats. Pats get cheated? Maybe.
Chats?
They were cheating in Cincinnati.
The Chattanooga Patriots.
Chiefs luggage didn't arrive there on time, but they got it done. 23-16. Titans, Raiders. Tannehill keeps winning, earning himself that contract. Raiders blown out again, lose 42-21. In Arizona, Pittsburgh defense comes away with 3 turnovers. Beat the Cardinals 23-17.
What voice is this?
I love that he just jumps into like a Boston accent.
Sunday night, Rams, Seahawks. Russell Wilson doesn't find his magic. Jared Goff lights the Seahawks up once again. Won 28-12.
No.
Monday night, Giants, Eagles. Eli's back. Let's see what happens from there. There we go. There's your recap.
Your the baby voice. There's your recap. Okay, first of all, Jared Goff didn't light up the Seattle. Seattle sucked, and the Rams defense played really good. Jared Goff threw 2 picks, and one was fucking terrible. Jared Goff just continuously looks like a digressing quarterback.
Hey. Look
Way
better than Russell
over-
Wilson.
Way overpaid.
Oh yeah, he blows chunks of asshole.
Looks better than Wilson.
And Hodges.
Yeah, whatever.
Duck Hodges is going to be riding the Pine Pony next year,
Yeah,
and for the rest of his life,
maybe.
probably.
We'll see what happens.
We don't need to see.
Panthers might give him a contract.
What?
You think he gets girls for that duck calling, being a pro at it?
Not the right girls.
Maybe not.
But you get some type of girls.
Duck-
And that's
Yeah.
all that matters.
Yeah,
you might not
boys.
get
Girls
the
that
long
love
ones, but you'll get
ducks.
the round ones.
Would you like to elaborate on that a little bit?
Nah, I probably should.
Only a few people know what that means.
You know what'd be really cool is if Saquon Barkley threw a pick 6 to Alshon Jeffrey.
All that would
How
pretty
did
much
that
suck.
happen?
Throw it deep. No, don't throw it to him. He's the last person.
That's a point. All right. But, yeah.
We're
What,
here.
what do you
We're
got
back.
for me, Red Baron?
What do I got for you? I got a whole lot of nothing.
Kyle, we got to see how it's going at halftime. You might have to go in and auto put in Mixon.
No.
He wouldn't have noticed.
I would have, Kyle. I was watching it all day because I thought that he played him.
He should have.
I was like, oh my God.
Why should I have?
No, I'm just saying. I'm not.
Very true.
This is coming from the same guy who was like mad that, can you believe that Ty fucking played, or that Chris played Winston, they played Mahomes over Winston?
I said that you would do that. Break his femur.
Well, Ma, congratulations on the playoffs.
You know what, Kyle?
Come back.
You're a real ass for that. Because no one ever wishes injuries on Steelers.
Yeah, you do.
That's false.
I
That's
do.
false.
I do it.
I'm gonna say I don't.
I do it.
I don't wish injuries on anybody.
You got excited when Ben
Hold it.
had
nice.
Tommy John.
That's not true.
Yeah, you did. Because you thought he was overrated, just like my Uncle Eddie.
He was overrated.
I like that nice Uncle Eddie jab in there. Work one of those. In.
I never thought Ben was overrated. I think he's
Who's feeling like doing it around the
fallen
horn?
off, but
I'm in.
Anybody feel like doing it around the horn?
Yeah, let's do it around the horn.
I'm not sure what that is, but I'll.
It's,
bet.
everybody takes a drink. Are you afraid of germs?
No,
Okay. I'm just drink on
not a germaphobe.
Nah, I guess I'll take the cups because Mock's a germaphobe.
Dude, we make out anyways. What's the
no. But here's the thing: you guys all saw what happened in Pittsburgh. Massey spit into that bottle, open mouth.
Dude, he's not here.
I know
He's off
but,
the show.
but even still,
Is Rebecca going to be joining us?
It scarred you.
Yeah, she can.
it was gross. It was pretty gross.
I would really
Yeah.
appreciate it if nobody would look over at what I pour, so you guys can just talk amongst yourselves.
I won't.
All right.
I will look. Well, I mean, is there anything you wanted to talk about past week in NFL? Was week 14? What week are we in? 14? Anything that stood out to you guys that you wanted to talk about?
Oh my!
I think Kittle made the play of the year.
It was really cool.
Yeah, that was a big play right there. Even with the face mask, he got an extra like 10 yards.
Carried 3 guys.
Yeah.
3 guys
He's a national treasure.
made that kick so much easier for
Yeah.
Robbie Gold. You know,
It's too bad. So Jeff, he's one of our show members who's been absent for a while, but he's a big Saints fan. So I always, when something bad happens, I always want him to be, around it to hear what he has to say. But
No, I just want him to feel the pain.
What pain? Like missing the Super Bowl due to a really blown call?
Yeah.
What pain do you have, Kyle? What pain do you have as a Steelers fan? Please enlighten me.
Tebow.
I just want him to feel pain. Because Jeff likes to rub it in.
All right, just pass these around for me, CJ. I'm gonna keep it
Wrong or right.
It is true. Jeff likes to be the guy, salt in the wound guy.
Then takes it real personal when you do it back.
That's not true. Jeff and I get into some pretty good things back and forth. You can take it.
Becca, can you give that to your husband?
Rebecca also has one.
Becca, give that to yourself.
is this mountain medicine?
Anybody feel like taking a whiff?
I would.
Oh no!
I don't know what this retailed for, but the guy gave he gave me the $7.50 of it for $2.
Water.
Oh my God!
that's a joke, right?
Nah, it's
Plastic
discontinued,
bottle?
so you can sell it for whatever. Glass bottle.
Oh wow, the glass cost $2. I don't even want to know
Listen,
what's
he's
between it.
losing money here.
Well, they pulled the bottle out of the ocean. So
Had
It's
a message in it.
It's vodka.
Can we know what it is?
It's called Ivanovich.
Rubbing alcohol.
It's
What?
Ivanovich vodka, but it's a flavor.
Is it water?
So if you guys all wish to, what do you say, Mock? Nostril?
No.
What is it?
I say that I should have Skyped in.
Mazel tov.
That's
Why'd you make it 6 syllables? Rebecca?
That's what I do. Oh, I guess we're just going for it.
Yeah.
Oh, I just hit it.
It's not really that bad.
Yeah, you just gotta plug your nose and get taste.
No, it's not that bad at all. Doesn't taste like anything.
it tastes like basement a little bit.
Getting an almond flavor.
Is that what you got, Almond?
I don't know.
A little minty.
Come on, Rebecca. Just kick the whole thing back.
It's not that bad.
It's really not that bad.
It's not.
It's
definitely a
probably the
$2.
30 years of aging.
Yeah.
Yeah, how dusty is this bottle?
Not anymore, but it took 6 baby wipes to get it all off.
Not great. Not great.
Ivanovich, tobacco flavored vodka.
That's awesome.
Maybe that's why I like it.
You know what's funny? I was trying to pinpoint the smell, and I was like, "This is so familiar."
It's like, has something been ashing in
It
this?
smells like a humidor.
Who wants that?
Nobody. That's why it was $9.99.
But
It was
even-
$9.99. I can't get the other sticker off. He
But
marked
here's the
it
thing.
down.
Here's the thing. Even in like, there was a marketing meeting at one time, and they're like, "All right, I got an idea."
There's smoked salmon flavored vodka out there.
Oh,
But
nasty.
but that's got a market. Locks have it for breakfast.
Yeah, I guess.
Who was like, "All right, we're gonna make a tobacco
I think
flavor."
they're thinking like,
So
well,
this went from $29.99 to $19.99 to $9.99 to $2. I was like, I saw it and I was like, oh, this is disgusting. Because this guy he's the favor store. It's what we call it. So anytime you need to make a placement on a product, you just go to him. Hey, bud, I just need you to take a bottle of this. Yeah, whatever, just send it. And then he just throws it on this like shelf of shit that he's got, and he's got a sign on it. It says "shelf of shit, 30% off, no price tags." And so I pulled this out and I was like, oh my god. I was like, I want this now. He looks at it, he goes, $10, that's too much. What do you got in cash in your wallet? And I was like, $2. He goes, sounds good.
Oh my god!
I'll take it.
It's funny now that he says tobacco. I got it.
It was the world's first tobacco flavored vodka.
I could see that.
is it the only?
I would say
No.
probably the
Probably.
only.
I was gonna say something mean, but I'm not gonna say it.
Oh,
Say it.
go ahead,
Say
Kyle.
it. It's out in the open now.
What? You're going to say something about him stopping dip?
I'm gonna say, do you miss it?
That's not mean. Yes, he
That's a
misses it.
stupid question.
He wakes up drooling. He has to do sunflower seeds because of what it did to him.
Eat him a lot.
His salt intake is through the
That
roof.
hurts more.
Mark, you think if you stopped eating sunflower seeds, you would just drop some like salt, like retention weight? I'm not asking to be a dick. I'm
I
just
think I
saying.
drink enough water to offset it.
You do?
Yeah. I drink a lot of water.
You gotta go for a Cheyenne right now.
I feel like you ate one.
Kendall, you know what this would be really good in?
What?
Bloody Mary.
Yeah?
Tobacco flavor.
I mean, I can see it.
You can ash a cigar in it, and then just
Let's float or buy a game, just kind of rest it.
It'd make
Dunk
it a little better.
All right,
Dunk
Kyle, you said that you came up with the agenda for today's show and that you were taking over as host, so go ahead.
Did not say the second part. And the third part of that is we have to go what we said last time we were here. The bracket.
Yeah, I forgot the bracket. I can make it on a piece of paper, though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Picked up a little of that.
Like a door creaking open.
Oh, it's not in the journal?
What?
It's not in that journal?
The bracket?
Sorry, that flavor really sits in the mouth.
Yeah, it does.
Saying a nice Cheyenne would be good right now.
Kyle, can we do the
Oh,
bracket? Can we kick off the second hour with the bracket?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, cool. So what else you got?
So if we're gonna, kind of feed off the Kittle thing, did you guys watch the Patriots Chiefs game?
I did
Yes. I did.
It was kind of refreshing to watch the referees screw over New England
Oh,
because
What?
they shafted them twice bad.
yeah.
They got them twice.
They also shafted the Dolphins this week.
Did they?
They didn't call a single pass interference called the whole game. And then on the final drive, which ended up being the game-winning field goal for the Jets, was it the Jets that kicked the game-winning field goal, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Ficken.
They didn't throw a penalty flag on the fourth down play because Darnold got sacked and it was fourth and forever, and they didn't throw a flag, and then all of a sudden there was a timeout, and then the refs walked on the field and was like, the call was overturned from New York as pass interference. No flag.
I didn't see that. I didn't watch the game. I probably would got pretty heated though if I saw that. I would as a Dolphins fan, the only thing I want to do is beat the Jets twice. Like, that's,
And there were plays in the game where Devontae Parker got pulled down when he was trying to go for a pass, got grabbed by the inside collar of his jersey and pulled down. There was a play where Roby Coleman was hit in the side of the helmet by a Dolphins player's shoulder before he could get a chance to was it not Roby Coleman? Robbie Anderson.
Oh, Robbie Anderson.
Yeah, they're all a bunch of fucking stupid people.
Well, I was just confused.
Every NFL player is dumb. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
They weren't calling any pass interference.
They were letting them play, and then all of a sudden,
and then all of a sudden, New York decided that this was a penalty.
Well, did you see the I think it was in.
This is why the eye in the sky is bullshit. Shouldn't exist. Dumb.
I forget what game it was.
Ruins the game. Holler at your mother.
But there was a fake punt attempt with an obvious pass interference, but I guess you can't have pass
I know,
interference on a
I
fake
saw
punt.
that. I can't remember
I
what
forget
game it
which
was.
game it was, but I was reading about it this morning. Like, it was a blatant pass interference, but they were like, "Oh, it was a fake punt, so that penalty doesn't exist." Like, what?
Yeah, I saw that, and I had heard that once before, like some time ago, but it
It
wasn't
seems
going
like
to remember
something
that.
Harbaugh would pull.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, we're punting. Everyone hold.
Well, it's weird too because on that play, like you can't run out of bounds on your own. But if you're forced out, it doesn't matter. It's one of those weird,
Yeah.
you know, the gunners or whatever. But very strange.
But
And
it was nice to see the Pats
Right.
get a little
Yeah.
no love.
That was tough, too, because they had no challenges left.
They were out of challenges.
Out of challenges. 'Cause he had a good, like, couple inches. You know, you blatantly saw some grass.
And it's one of those things, I mean, again, I loved it because it was against New England, but they need to stop blowing plays dead.
Yeah, on that.
Just let that play out.
Yeah. Gilmore should have a touchdown on that.
I mean, for sure. I mean, he picked that thing up running.
Yeah, that.
Just seamless. Was already running. No one's
yeah.
going to catch him.
Just let it go and then, like, figure it out afterwards. Because they punched that ball out of Kelsey's hand.
but
Good insight there, Kendall.
no sympathy.
But,
Yeah.
Oh, no, it was cool to watch. I liked it.
On the back end, though, you know, did you see that allegation about the Patriots having some videotape going on in the Browns-Bengals game? So they're cheating on the other side, so everything comes full circle, you know?
I was cracking up when that came out today when they're like, oh, they were recording the Bengals. I'm like,
Yeah,
why?
Yeah, why? They don't have a big advantage already?
Send a camera guy to, like, Baltimore.
Yeah.
Like, that's where you need to be.
It's
The
too
Bengals-
that's too obvious.
Well, the Bengals are gearing up for 2021.
The
Yeah.
Bengals are in for a rough game next week because the Patriots got to be coming out mad. They lost
Oh,
two in a
yeah.
row. There's going to be some damage done in Cincinnati.
Imagine Cincinnati pulls it off.
That'd be the best thing ever. That'd be the best thing of the
Yeah.
season.
No, the best thing ever would be is if Alshon Jeffrey returned a punt as time was expiring today.
No, don't do that.
That was one of the greatest games comebacks ever in the history of all
It
sports.
is, but it sucked.
Nah, it was awesome.
That was awful.
It's around this time of year too, right? It was like game
Christmas.
after-
Week 17.
It was week 17. It was right around Christmas.
They had the Christmas lights on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the, yeah.
Fuck Deshaun Jackson. Hope he never plays again.
That's fucked up. That's like
Not 'cause
wishing
he's-
injury.
Not 'cause
Yeah,
he's
you-
hurt.
yeah,
I
you
just
just
hope he
said
doesn't
he-
play anymore.
Why?
Because of
It's like, I
injury.
hate
He's
him.
hurt.
He can retire and do whatever he wants. I just don't want him to
Are
play
you,
anymore.
are you saying it because he celebrates Three Kings Day?
Yeah.
Real
I don't
hot,
even know what that is.
hot button issue.
What is that?
You know what Three Kings Day is?
I know the
It's like it's a Hispanic holiday in January. It celebrates the three kings marching over to see Jesus in the manger.
Oh.
The three kings at the manger scene.
He doesn't celebrate that.
We don't know that.
I'm
He
not.
does.
I'm not religious.
Well, it's a young Eli.
No, that's Mose.
But Eli gets a start tonight. Has a chance to go positive.
Don't fake laugh at a joke.
Yeah, best thing to do when that happens. Don't even acknowledge it.
No, I had to. Don't let it go, Kendall.
Kendall, when you get home, I expect you to give her a swirly after a Taco Bell poop.
Oh my.
Double swirly.
Like, all right, it's ready.
I've let it. let it
Marinated.
I've let it Uncle Festered long enough.
Oh my god.
So what do you guys think of the Browns and Odell's situation?
I think it's another media thing. I don't think. Me and Paul were actually talking on the way here. I can't imagine why he would want out of Cleveland.
You didn't ride here with me.
It's
They have no quarterback. That's why he wants out of Cleveland. They need to draft another quarterback
They-
first round.
they hired the wrong coach. Freddie Kitchens was the bad choice. He's the biggest head case on the team, and he's the head coach. You can't have that. Mayfield regressed, but I think that's because of the coaching hire. I know he was the offensive coordinator, but they should have brought in either they should have stuck with what was it
Greg Williams.
Greg Williams. I was going to say Waters.
I like that. I think it was.
Or I think they should have brought in Arians, but it is what it is.
When Kitchens took over, middle of last season, though. Baker Mayfield, his numbers
That was
spiked
Greg
up.
Williams.
Oh, that was Greg
And
Williams?
they let him walk, and he's the coordinator for the Jets or something?
Oh,
Where-
man,
where's
I
he the
know
def-
too.
It's the Jets. He's a defensive coordinator.
Okay.
But I think I don't think Odell wants
He never
out.
wanted to go to Cleveland. Though.
I agree with that. He never wanted to leave New York, but I think he's playing in Cleveland with like his best friend in the world. He's playing hurt this year, and the team underperformed. It's one of those things where even if he is saying to other teams, "Come get me," I mean, the media's gonna and just misconstrue. I mean, that could mean anything. It could mean anything. If he's talking to another coach, be like, "Come get, I'm gonna go off today. Come get me."
I
You know,
can see
it
that.
to me, it's just a non-issue. I don't think he wants out. I think that he wants better results and the team to play better, but I don't think he wants out of Cleveland.
I knew from week 1 that he had a sports hernia injury because there was a reporter there talking about his hip injury, and she was like, I think it's more of an abdomen injury. And I was like, oh, he has a sports hernia. His top speed is affected.
Yeah.
His change of routes is affected. He can't like pivot as fast. So, I could see where the digression in numbers and then Juice going off is just a benefactor of, people are focusing on Odell. And then Juice is healthy too. So when he's coming out the slot, he's just benefactoring off the fact that Odell's hurt and teams are like, when they're going in, they're making their game plan, their defensive game plan around Odell, and so Juice has just been living life like that, just catching passes left and right. So,
Yeah. Well, do you think there's any truth in, because, let's say Odell does have a history, we'll call it whatever you want. Maybe it's not as public, but do you think there could be a shadow of doubt that there is some disinterest,
I really don't think so. Because, again, if this was a team that was playing to where maybe not, what everyone thought they were going to be this year, but if they were just competitive and winning games, it's a non-issue. I don't, even if they were winning games and he had the same numbers, I don't think this would be, it's just anything that he says, people, the report, whatever, just run with it. And he's not the only. He's not the only player like that. I mean, we've seen other players. Anytime they say anything, it just gets, it goes sideways. And he's a polarizing player. He likes being in the media. I think it's just being blown up.
he had that tweet that kind of like was pretty misleading. What it was about, like, you don't know what tomorrow brings or something like that. But he had to come out immediately and be like, hey, I'm not saying I don't want to be here. I'm not saying I don't.
It's just a tweet, man.
I see what you're saying, where like whatever he
Everything
says
he
is
says.
it's going to be.
And it was that way for him, too, in New York. I mean, besides the stupid Lil Wayne thing, everything he said would get blown out, and then, he doesn't want this. And it was all nonsense. It was all nonsense.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I think the Browns are definitely having a regretful season.
Yeah, I think they got to fire Kitchens. They got to bring in a different coach.
They're not going to do that.
I know they're not, but I mean the
How many times can you fire a coach? on
but
their
the
first
the
year?
final factor. But here's the difference. The final factor for me, and Kitchens has to go, is when he showed up to the second Steelers game after the whole helmet thing with that stupid shirt that he wore. That for me right there was like, this guy's an idiot. You're supposed to be the head coach. You have to stop this stuff, and you're wearing, what did it say? Like Pittsburgh started it or something. That's insane. That's
Who cares
insane
that
to me.
they started it. It's
But-
what he did in the aftermath.
But it doesn't matter. You're the head coach.
Right.
You're responsible for the 53 guys on your side of the field, and you're going to show up to a game after that whole incident happened wearing a shirt saying, "Well, they started it."
Yeah.
That's absurd.
Real
It's
quick,
absurd.
no Steelers fans are allowed to get mad at him for wearing that shirt. I just want that to be known. Mike Tomlin one time tripped a run from a Baltimore Ravens. So I don't want to hear Mike
I don't
Tomlin's
care
just as
that it
big of a snake in the world as everyone
But
else.
it's just it's stupid. He's a bigger head case than anyone on that team could be. I mean, he's a bad play caller. At least I don't know what happened, because last year their offense ran pretty well, and he was the one calling plays.
But they had a better offensive line.
Yeah, but even still, even still, I mean, we see players and teams get by. I mean, not with bad offensive line, but you can adjust. And he's a guy that this year should have given up play calling. Make a change, make the adjust. But the pride gets the Giants are in the same boat where Shermer will not give up play calling, and he's terrible at it. He's bad. The Giants' offense is so predictable, it's horrible, but they won't make the change. And ultimately, I mean, I think it's going to lead to Shermer being fired, and it should lead to Kitchens being fired. But we'll see what they do.
Yeah, they just need to change whatever it is. Something's not clicking,
Bill Cowher to the Browns.
You won't go there
Why not, Kyle?
because he's happy being retired.
Yeah, we'll see.
He doesn't look like a Brown anyway.
He was a Brown.
Well, he doesn't look like one.
How about that, Ken?
Pal, I'm just saying.
Big middle finger to you.
God, he uses his own joke against him. He gets all mad.
It's all right. When Ron Rivera takes over as the Giants coach next year.
I wouldn't hate that. But I think
How
that
do you throw the- all right, never mind. Get in the end zone.
Come on.
Get in the end zone.
who was that?
Slayton. He's been quietly good this year.
Yeah,
No matter who was
Slayton's
that
been a fine.
behind the helm, Good flex receiver if you're in like a 12-man, 16-man league.
Get Goddard going, baby.
I just need Wentz to do something. He fumbled the first possession. I was like, oh, goodness. If I lose because I started Wentz over Breeze, I'm going to be pretty upset.
Yikes.
That's been my, entire season. Playing Wentz and Garoppolo, and I should have played Garoppolo all year. But, can't change it. 9th place, here I come.
9th.
For the 100th time in a row.
Well, Ken, you won our league one year.
That's right.
What'd you get?
Nothing. Now there's trophies and cash flow. It's pretty cool.
There's no cash flow.
We stopped that after no one paid the first time.
Kyle, no, we tried to cash flow every year, just no one ever paid.
Yeah, I ended up dishing out all the money.
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Real quick, can we just talk about how bad the Texans were?
Wow, yeah. Lit up by a rookie quarterback.
Another thing that Mock benefited from.
Did I? Who'd they
Oh, no,
play?
that was GSWD. Never mind. I finished last, so it doesn't matter. My last-ditch effort was I wasn't going to play the Bears defense just in case the Cowboys had a vendetta, so I started Houston's defense.
Oh, that's
I did that also, per recommendation of a friend.
Yep. Who would have thought, okay?
Hey, do you have... Who are the San Francisco running backs you have?
All of
Coleman,
them?
Mostert, and Breida.
I didn't know you had Mostert. I would have told you to start him. You didn't, though.
Well, I said I had all the running backs,
But yeah, but I didn't think you had
You
Mostert.
usually play all three of them.
if I could.
Surprised you didn't take all the Chargers this year.
At what point are you going to start realizing that, like, you're bad at fantasy?
It's all luck, man.
It's
It's
not.
not all luck.
It's all luck.
It's not all
That's how I
luck.
won the first year. Picked the guys I liked.
Yeah,
Here-
but you
here's
didn't
the
pick
thing,
three
though,
guys
Kyle.
from the same team.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
I control all of the running.
I
for San
half
Fran.
They
agree
are
with you.
second in the league in rushing attempts, but like when Coleman's dropping goose eggs every couple games,
Yeah, but
I
here's the
half
other-
agree with you, Kendall.
But here's the other thing. Real quick. Sorry, Mike. Before we get
Go
into
ahead.
this, besides the steroid argument, this is the most visited argument on this show, and we'll get there, Kyle. I know
Ron's
you're
is getting in.
He is. But anyway,
Just what I would
but
do.
it's just like Kendall's attitude. This is why it can't all be luck, because this is a skill thing, not a luck thing. Where if I start all three running backs, I have all the running and running back receptions that they get. That's great. If everyone gets 2 receptions for 15 yards and they combine for 150 yards, that means that you have 3 guys that didn't put up 100 yards, 3 guys that had 2 catches. You got 8 points per guy.
he's like, "I'll take that."
It's pretty good.
Well, that's why I left, because for the longest time, there was like 3 weeks, Kendall was trying to work a trade with me for DJ Chark. And he's like, listen, I want the Jacksonville 1-2 punch. I was like, what?
It would have been cool.
But I do. I half agree with you that a lot of fantasy comes down to luck.
Who scores a touchdown for the Giants?
Darius Slayton. But it does. It comes, one guy that no one really knew about could blow up, and then everyone picks him up. Hey, he's going to do it again, and he doesn't catch another pass all year. There is a
Terry
lot.
McLaurin.
There is a lot of luck in it, but there is also
logic dictates
some logic.
Logic dictates certain things. However, the opinion that someone random can't go off and there being no reason for it, and that I will not accept.
No, no one except for Kyle makes that argument to you. It's just the point is that it is illogically and unskilled to play 3 running backs from the same fucking team.
It was really I just picked up Mostert, but I was playing 2,
which is hilarious because he's the one that went off.
Right.
But Kendall, you do this every year. You've done it,
and I will continue to.
that won't change. Last.
But the thing is, second to last.
From now on, what we're going to start doing is if you don't make the playoffs,
you wear a dress.
No, you have.
Come on, I do that anyway.
You have to dump out a 30 rack of beer.
I will not.
You have to
that.
dump it out.
But here's the thing.
The best part is Kendall's going to have to watch 5 other guys dump out 30 racks of beers too.
It's not like I picked like a scrub running team. It's not like I picked, let's say, I don't know, the Lions running, the situation.
Well, for most of the year, it would have been better.
But a scrub running, but if you did the whole thing on a scrub running team, I think it would have been better than if you picked a team that had good running backs. Because when you have good running backs, they either completely share the load, which, yeah, it's great in theory if each guy's going to get 70 yards, but that's only 7 points.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a productive day in terms of fantasy. It's productive in terms of the team.
At the end of the day...
But, like, you're better off picking, like... You're better off picking, like, Kamara and Latavius Murray.
Right, but I didn't have that option.
But here's the thing.
Then draft better.
But I was the 8th guy to pick. All the good running backs are off the board.
So then don't take
Dalvin
Breida.
Cook.
I got Breida really late.
Still, why would you start all the same running
Dalvin
backs?
Cook was going 2nd round in most drafts.
It's funny. Me and Kendall, not too long ago, were looking back at our draft. And it's funny when you just look at it and you're like, damn. This guy was here and, just to see, like, where you missed or where you found value.
Calling the mass.
So hoping to just hear like, oh, shit.
Welcome to Getting
Take the plug out. Take the plug out.
They're calling.
Mass, you there?
Yes, I am.
Jared Goff sucks.
That's all right.
Are you in a bathroom? You in the tub?
No.
Sounds like you're drinking something, though. What do you
That'd
have?
be pretty cool, though. Live from the tub.
Can you get
It's
in the
Monday
tub?
Night Live.
Live from the tub, it's Massey Live. Do.
Nobody wants to see that.
Oh, Alshon Jeffrey's open.
Mass's momentous soak.
Gross.
I was going to say,
Holden. Oh, that's tough.
I was say the quarterback's running around. There's holding somewhere.
Yeah.
But even still, let the play stand. It wasn't Alshon Jeffrey.
Nope.
You know what's funny? I haven't seen him. Is he even playing?
Yeah, he was out there
He's
before.
playing.
Mass, you gonna talk or what?
What do you want me to say? You guys are talking about the game.
You Skyped into us. I'm just saying. In the rules of phones, you don't call someone and then not say anything.
Like, hey.
Well, technically, Kendall called me, so.
Are you drinking anything? I thought I heard you have a
Beverage?
beverage.
He's
I
drinking,
am
he's
not
drinking his,
drinking anything
he's
right now.
drinking his
No.
tub water.
Well, are you going to drink something?
Massey ramen.
Yeah.
You going to drink the ramen?
Yeah.
No noodles, just the broth.
Oh, God.
Ugh.
See, I do it the opposite. When I make ramen, I straight up.
No.
Oh, that's tough. Look. Oh.
Oh, I don't get happy about injuries.
I'm not.
You just smiled.
I was showing you.
You smiled.
I was showing you.
Bullshit, you smiled.
I was showing you.
You smiled.
Showed him with a
exactly
smirk.
what you did. This is exactly what you did.
I was showing you.
You smiled.
Oh.
I don't know. That was pretty revealing, that expression.
Oh, no contact too. That's
Oh, he's done for the rest of the year.
that is tough.
All right, Dallas Goddard. It's your turn, buddy.
That sucks.
Oh well. Now we can just hope for Saquon to
Hey.
get into a fatal car
Oh,
accident.
here comes Jake Elliott just going to start launching 50-yarders.
I would like, maybe we could do it in the next hour. I would like to talk about fantasy for a little bit, kind of like people who were. Or did you want to wait until next year? Souls and I were talking. Here's some scrolling.
Whoa,
going on.
whoa. That's a personal foul there. Back to hating the Giants. now.
What'd you want to talk about?
Or we can wait till next week if like players who are surprises, guys who are disappointments.
We can. Because, we're going to... Right now is fantasy playoffs, and, our league always runs a week later, but
No, it doesn't.
usually 14 is like the first playoff week.
No,
We
we don't. No.
not in our league. I'm saying like usually around.
Well, that's if you do 3 rounds of playoffs.
Oh.
If you have 12 people, you have to start week 14. If you only have 4 people, if you're doing a 10-person league and you have 6 people making the playoffs, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. I mean, one big disappointment. I mean, Kamara. Like, he was going top 3 in pretty much every draft. He hasn't scored since week 3. Like,
Yeah, no kidding.
like-
I drafted him top 3 in almost all my leagues.
Yeah. I mean, and, like, you got Latavius
My name is
Murray
Chris Massey, and I have top 3 picks always. Always.
cutting into his workload. Like, he had the past 4 weeks 13, 11, 11, 13 carries. Like, that's not workhorse top 3, running back production. You should be giving that guy some more carries, or some more. I mean, he's getting his targets. If you're in PPR, like, he's like salvaging it a little bit, but still, like, and he got hurt a little bit, which when that happened, Murray blew up. Like, he scored like a 30, 25. Like, he was blowing up. It was like, why wasn't Kamara doing that?
No, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but we saw that even last year. I mean, Kamara was splitting time with Ingram. He was just getting, crazy receiving yards. And
That's a team to do the 1-2 running back thing.
Oh, I had that a couple years ago. Ingram and Kamara, his rookie season or whatever. Phenomenal. It got me to the championship right there.
Yeah, I was doing the last year with Lindsey and
Royce Freeman.
Royce Freeman, and they were pretty whatever.
That's another bad combo to go with dual running backs.
Pencil sucks. Yes,
I finished that year.
Ninth?
Ninth place. And I also had Matt Burrito late in that year.
That running back
Do you
duo.
see the issue here?
No, I won't change my ways. One day it will work.
Maybe you stop taking a receiver in the first round and you reach for a running back a little bit.
Kyle, I got stuck with the 8th pick.
That's manageable. 8th pick's manageable.
I
Is
took-
it snake draft? You get
It
the
is-
12th pick coming back around.
I took Jones and Allen.
I did a draft this year where I had the 10th pick, and then I found out it wasn't Snake.
Oh.
That's
Yeah.
horrible. That's
terrible.
complete
See, but that was-
disadvantage.
that was a thing, too, kind of where,
That you suck.
well, no, you should have traded,
The 8th pick.
was this the league you traded Julio Jones?
Yeah, Paul and I traded.
But you also traded away Chris Carson
To
I
Paul.
Not me.
to Kyle.
I have him in one league.
But that's why, there was probably a couple of moves that if you didn't make, you probably would have had better luck.
Like coming
What would
7th.
you get for Carson and Jones?
We had a big trade where
I gave him Carson Wentz
Oh
and
my
Philip
God.
Lindsay.
Already. Oh my God.
Yeah.
What?
Hold on. But when the trade happened, Philip Lindsay like was still running well, and it was coming off of last
Well,
year.
it was
kind of thing.
before the season. But I remember Kyle's like, "Oh, I did it because he just needed a quarterback." Like you didn't just totally shaft him.
He had no quarterback.
Oh please, you fucking
You can
snake
waiver
your
a
brother all the
quarterback.
time.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Shut up. Barkley for nothing.
You could waiver a
That's not
quarterback
true.
better than Wentz.
and one thing
I traded for
too,
Barkley when he was hurt this year, Kyle.
Yeah, who'd you give him?
I gave up Diggs, Hollywood Brown, and LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah, you fucking frisked him hard.
Well, no, Pat needed receivers.
You
Bad.
frisked him,
And
but you
Barkley
frisked
was
him.
hurt.
Is it keeper?
Just because someone needs receivers doesn't mean anything. He gave me Julio Jones. He needed quarterbacks. He gave me Julio Jones. I gave him
a
Uncle
paper
Rico.
bag.
No, but that was the thing. He needed receivers, so I gave him 2 receivers that were playing then for a guy that, I mean, I had Barkley on my bench for 3 weeks.
Doesn't matter. You're gonna lose to Kyle in playoffs.
Kyle makes it.
Your brother's gonna beat Eric.
Pat.
Pat, Eric, who gives a fuck? We're all the same person.
I mean, I drank like 16 beers at the draft. So it was just,
That's where it got dicey. The end of the draft started getting a little fuzzy.
yeah, I was just picking names that I thought were funny. I screwed myself.
See, that's the other side, is Kendall always goes for the joke.
Yep, and pays for it. And wonders why my team's no good.
But that's why, I mean, I used to try and go really heavy on receivers, but it's so much easier to find a wide receiver
Yeah.
than it is to find a running back.
Before the season started, like top 5 running backs compared to the top 5 receivers, there was like an 8 to 10 point drop off from
Yeah.
like 5 to 15 in running backs to 5 to 15 receivers. Like it's a passing league, like people the wealth is going to be shared around between receivers. Like
You can always find a receiver.
always find one, yeah. Guys get hurt left and right, but like the top running backs, like the workhorse. You don't see those, a lot. Like McCaffrey, I mean Carson he's outside like the top 10 right now in fantasy, but like the workhorses are rare. A lot of teams are doing those two-headed.
Do the committees.
Yeah, do the committees.
And if you picked James Conner this year, you didn't really get much out of him.
Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
He went very early.
Yeah.
Connor's an interesting player because when he's on the field, he's really good. But he's almost never on the field.
Yeah.
He oh boy. Oh.
Run, you straight bastard.
Eli just out here throwing dimes.
In the rain. Oh, he's going to spike it.
That's tough.
Gonna settle
Clocks
down.
it.
With 8:45 in the second, he spikes it. It's a veteran move right there.
He knew what he was doing.
That's a veteran knowing the situation.
They have all three of their timeouts.
Hey, Peyton's there. Throw a touchdown.
Over there.
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Now imagine
Man, I should have
they
played
show
Darius Slay,
Eli,
huh?
they show Peyton leave the booth, comes out with a jersey on. Let me get the second half. I'm going in.
Do you think he could still do it?
No.
His jersey says Manning Sr.
Kyle, we saw him just limp through his last season.
Hey, he won the Super Bowl.
The Broncos won the Super Bowl.
He was a part of it.
Yeah,
He was that
he
killer
was
two-point
doing
conversion.
everything he could to not win that game.
But he did.
He did. Hey, yeah.
This is the guy that season that got benched midway through.
I
for
forgot
Brock
this fucking guy was
Osweiler.
here.
Hey, that's when Osweiler was great.
He still is great. He's just waiting for his opportunity.
Didn't he just retire?
He did.
Mass, I forgot you were even here, bro.
Thanks, Kyle.
Hey, not my fault. You didn't
Hey, did you
speak
draw
for
a bath
35
yet?
minutes.
Where are you? Are you in the living room?
No, I'm upstairs in my computer room.
Are you in the tub?
Yes.
That's how you
With
know.
the computer.
That's how you know he's made it when he can go from fucking Killingly to Stafford Springs to drop off a coworker and then has a computer room in his house.
Yeah.
Get a fucking laptop. Sit on the couch.
Is that more your jail room or just the computer room?
That's his beat it room.
Yeah, it's definitely the beater room.
Ooh, mass cranking down.
It's not. It's not sexual. It's just where he practices the beat it choreography to Michael Jackson songs.
I was thinking.
You
more
open the door and be like,
Best
oh my God.
It's so steamy in here.
He's wearing the outfit of the white guy with the leather jacket. Knife fighting himself.
In the mirror.
It's the dog.
Hey, guys, I know I'm just saying this now, but I was right about Ryan Tannehill 5 years ago.
Oh, called it
5
Mock.
years ago.
But I'm not going to agree with Mock. Mock never said that you would say that. You know why? Because he laughed at Alshon Jeffrey's injury.
We're on the way here.
Nope, don't deny that you laughed at it.
I didn't laugh. I
Kendall?
smirked.
Kendall?
Yeah,
did
there
he
was
show,
a smirk.
Did he
There
show
was a
signs of
smirk.
happiness at an injury?
His face did lit up.
Yeah.
We were on the way here, Kyle.
Down goes
And I said,
Saquon.
we were talking about Tannehill, and I said, you watch. Kyle's going to be like, I was right about him.
I was.
All right, it wouldn't be a Giants game without an Eli fumble.
Oh,
shit! Fucking shit!
Bats it with the back of his head. Oh.
Shit! Peyton sitting there like, I
Yep.
never did that till the playoffs.
Like, there it is.
There's Cooper.
All right.
Cooper's drunk.
All in favor for dumping beer on Rebecca?
All right.
I
All right. Kyle, could you please go get
throw it at her.
Go get the 1.5 liters.
Something heavy and brown.
Wow, that was disgusting.
Kind of.
How about
Oh,
that other Manning? What was that?
You gotta have that, son.
Come on, Golden.
Just stupid name.
Is his name Archie?
Well, that's the dad.
The dad is
Cooper's
Archie.
the older brother.
No. There's one
kid
of
in
the
college?
Sons. No, he's a freshman in high school starting
Oh,
varsity.
yeah.
He's
I
starting
forget.
varsity.
Actually, his name might be Archie.
I think it is
Yeah.
Archie. But he's
Imagine
I've-
having 3 sons and then being like, you know what, you're the junior. Those guys never amounted to shit.
but
it was
he's
actually good.
I've heard he's better than any of the other Mannings at this point. Like Eli.
Yeah, Michael Jordan
Peyton.
Jr. was going to be better than his dad, and then he couldn't even get in the NBA.
Yeah, he failed out of UCF.
Sounded like a little grade issue then.
Yeah, he just sucks.
But he's
The guy in
started,
the white
Sterling
jersey.
Shepard.
he started varsity.
How does football work? Where's the Steelers?
Kick it to him.
Which one of them is David Wright?
He's playing. In my heart.
Go back. Go for it.
Sound like you're crying.
Go for
You
it.
got nothing to lose.
That was a bad route.
Should have caught it.
Yeah, ball that probably shouldn't have been thrown.
No, Eli lost me a point.
Why, for the fumble?
Yep.
He didn't lose you anything.
No, you don't lose. There's no points lost to that. They recovered it.
No.
Souls, you kind of
Not in our league.
You lose,
Oh, really?
you lose a point for a fumble. You lose a
Even
point
if
if they lose it.
So you lose 2 if they.
Well, we did that because there was a lot of griping about how we lose points for interceptions, but we don't gain anything for not throwing interceptions. That's a real thing that was presented.
What?
I had somebody
It was
come
a
up
call
to me.
to completion.
Somebody came up to me and was like, well, if they fumble it and get it back, why do they lose points? If he throws it and it's not an interception, he doesn't lose points. And I was just like,
Can I ask who said it?
You're right. Probably you.
It wasn't me.
I don't know. Between you and Jeff,
Playing dumb.
you can't do anything without getting a gripe about something between either Mock or Jeff on the fantasy layout. Now, Mock's going to say, his response, I didn't say anything this year. Jeff did. Next year, it'll be Mock.
I should get points for having most players on the same team. That should be
You
a
do.
thing.
You get points in the loss column.
You're still in 9th place.
Aw.
You dumb bitch.
Hey, maybe if you stop doing all these commercials, you'll be on the field.
I hope you get a flat tire on the way home, Kendall.
Aw. It's not nice.
And
It's
you make
raining.
Rebecca change it.
I don't even go there. It's wet out.
Kendall doesn't know how to change a tire.
I do.
Train tires don't count.
Train.
Train.
Real heavy lifting going on there.
Hey, I gotta ask you a question. Remind me.
All right.
Ask him now.
You guys want,
No, it's not an on-the-air question.
No. You have to.
Nope.
You have to.
Do you guys want to take a break? There's break time, and then get some more beer and whatnot. Mass, you'll still be on, so just don't curse.
Mass.
Do my absolute best, Kendall.
I'm joking. Please do whatever you want. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you dumb bitch. You fucking asshole.
right.
I hope you get rabies.
All right, guys, take a break, and we'll be back.
Yeah.
Enjoy Kendrick.
Live from New York.
It's Saturday night.
And now, back to getting sports with Drunk on the PPRN Radio Network.
Welcome back to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler, and I'm joined by degenerates. All of them.
Sums it up.
All of them. Souls,
Yep.
how you doing?
I'm doing all right.
All right, take the reins. On today's topic, why steroiders should not be in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, well, I don't believe in that, so.
All right, Mock, you're at your rebuttal.
Well, they shouldn't be because they cheated.
All right, Kyle.
Really going to get into this right now?
All right, Mock, you take the reins on the argument that steroids makes the game more fun.
Well, it doesn't. It's cheating.
Kyle?
All right, you know what? We're going to get into this.
Just-
Here we go.
Okay, so
oh, Kyle, stop. I'm just kidding
in the
you.
year...
Oh,
the
my
year-
God. In the year 19, it was a fortnight.
I was born in 93.
With Mark McGuire or Sammy
It was a fortnight
was
since
a
we've
thing.
last seen a home run by a white man.
That was the most exciting thing that baseball had going for a long time.
Kyle, you're right.
I think
But
that
guess
speaks
what?
a
It's
oh,
fake.
Let me tell you
It's
something.
not fake.
Let me
It's
tell
like
you something.
reality TV.
But I
It's
think
not fake.
I think it
Fake.
speaks a lot that the most exciting thing that's happened in baseball history was cheating. That shows you how boring that game is.
Okay, well, that's not true. Two,
Super true. You just said it was the most exciting thing, and it was cheating.
You did.
Okay.
They needed
Whatever.
They needed drugs to make the game exciting.
no, they just took
Now
it
they
because
just drug the baseball.
You don't. I don't see NHL people doing that.
Barry Bonds belongs in the Hall of Fame. One, because yeah, steroids make you stronger, but doesn't make your hand-eye coordination better.
Yeah, Wellington Castillo.
You're right, but you can hit it farther.
Doesn't matter, dude. You literally had to freaking walk the guy to get him out. You know what I mean?
Walk to guy. Yeah, that makes sense.
You know exactly.
Yeah,
what
I know what you mean.
And he hit intentional balls out of the park because he was that damn good.
He was juiced up.
He went from a stick
was
to a
juiced
First
up.
of all,
house.
never got convicted of it. One,
Never got
Two,
convicted of it.
It was tested proven.
they never had him on it.
He tested positive for it.
Okay. Well, let me tell you something. Did Roger Clemens belong in?
No,
Did
because
Andy
he
Pettit
cheated.
belong in?
No, because he cheated.
He lied to. Didn't he? What did he lie under oath or whatever?
Yeah. Pettit
That's
is
not
the
cool.
only one that came back from it and was able to keep playing because he was the only one that was like, "Yes, I did it. I'm sorry," and he came back and kept playing. He's the only. Everyone else
Okay,
tried to
before
fight
Roger Clemens
Derek
took the
Derek
steroid.
Jeter cheated on a girl.
it. Yeah, they all do that.
Yeah, but he shouldn't be in then. That's adultery. That's against the law.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
They weren't married.
That's true. He was never married.
It's not
Derek
adultery.
Jeter. Yeah, he was. Yeah, Derek Jeter's married to being. Yep.
Okay.
I have a lot of things to say about that man, but I'm not going to on the air.
Roger
They're all
Clemens
bad.
was
I met that guy, and he was a
was
dick.
really good
Kyle,
before the steroid.
I agree with you. You're absolutely right. But guess what? He cheated.
Maybe it was the whole Yankee team. Think
But
about it.
but he tainted his whole
So why?
thing.
So you think the Yankees should keep that World Series because they cheated?
The Yankees didn't cheat.
They
He
did. He did. And you also had Giambi, who also took steroids. Correct?
Was that when he was with the Yankees?
Yes.
Yeah.
A-Rod might have been the first couple years on the Yankees.
Yeah.
So therefore, your Yankees are cheaters.
Kyle, but again,
No. Could you-
listen.
Okay.
You're saying the organization. It's not an organization thing. It's players. It's players flying to a clinic in Miami to get injected with steroids.
You don't know that's what happened.
But I mean that was the big thing. It was that doctor in Miami that Canseco outed.
Okay, first of all, Canseco's an ass.
But really, I mean you're saying McGuire and Sosa that was the
Snitch.
most exciting thing but it's all a lie.
But it's not.
It is. It's a lie. It's cheating.
So a guy taking foot cream steroid and gets 80-game suspension, does he deserve that?
I mean, here's the thing.
It's a cream.
I
Not an
understand
injection.
that. I understand that.
Crap.
But
It's a crap.
if it's a banned thing and you know you can't have it and you still use it, it's cheating. It's against your rules.
So you agree with Golden Tate's suspension this year?
I agree with it because
But he took something that he didn't know he wasn't supposed to take, and then
No, I know.
when he found out about it, stopped using it,
and he owned up, and that's the thing.
and he
Like
still got suspended.
because at the
The
end of the
NFL was
day,
basically just like, "Hey, fuck you, you're not allowed to have kids."
but
Get outta here.
again,
You could,
at the
you
end
could
of
beat
the
women
day,
and get a less of a
Yeah.
suspension.
at the end of the day, he wasn't taking HGH, but it was a banned substance, and that's it. It's the rules are there for a reason. Again, the McGuire Sosa thing, yeah, it was exciting, but it's fake. It's fake.
So you're saying that Bonds shouldn't be able to have his record?
I don't think so because he wouldn't have had it without him.
But how do we know people back then didn't juice?
They could have. I don't know, but
Babe Ruth
again,
definitely did.
And today's world is so technologically advanced. People are probably still juicing, just getting through with it.
Yeah.
but that's what I mean. I mean, Kyle, we've pulled up Bonds' numbers on the show before.
Yeah.
The power numbers weren't there till the steroids started.
Yeah, wasn't he like a 2020 guy, like stealing bags?
Again, Bonds probably still would have been one of the best to ever play, but he cheated. I don't think he should have the record, and I don't think he should be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, you
When
can
you make that big of a difference, you deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, regardless of what you did.
yeah, but when your big difference was that you hit home runs,
Not all he did, man.
but it is.
Not.
It is.
No, he got intentionally walked a lot because he put the ball in play.
But that's right. Like he was the power guy. He hit home. He's has the all-time home run record.
Okay, but not all he was known for. He stole a lot of bases, even with the Giants. Before he got older, he stole a lot of bases.
Before all the juice.
No, just before he got older. And just
Before he gained 50 pounds.
All that steroid retention.
It's listen again. There's no denying his talent. He was a very talented player. He was a generational talent.
he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Cheated. He doesn't.
Sammy Sosa does not.
Why?
Sammy
Yeah.
Sosa was not that good.
But why?
He wasn't. He made. First of all, he sucked in the outfield. One. Okay.
Okay.
Two.
Well, he was in the NL.
Well,
Barry,
Sammy
what
So-
about Barry?
But Sammy Sosa double cheated.
He was a cork bag.
He was a bat corker and a steroid user, and still couldn't hit as many home runs.
True.
And
Plus, he was white, so he wasn't
Yeah.
that good.
beat me too.
Well, he turned white.
Once you go white,
He tried to use that camouflage.
you never
thing.
go light bright.
Not
Yeah.
bad. Something like that.
And again, kind of like I understand.
I'm glad
You know,
I did
you
this.
you oppose it, and that's fine. That's you're entitled to your. I think these guys cheated. They cheated. It gave them an advantage. Bonds wouldn't have the home run numbers without him. He wouldn't, because he wasn't that home run guy before them. He was a great player. He was a generational talent, but he's not hitting 700 plus without juicing.
And like not with steroids, like it's not only just the power; it could help you with that longevity. Like it could help you
Recover.
like
That's why pitchers
recover
do it.
faster. Yeah, that's why a lot of
That's
pitchers
why I think
do
they
it.
should be legal.
They should be legal.
I think so.
In
Think
sports.
about how much more fun the sport would be if.
Think about how much more fun the sport would be if Mike Trout played more than a third of a season.
He still has
Like,
the best
fuck the
numbers in ball with a third of a season.
Yeah, and so imagine if he played more than 40 games.
Give him some steroids. I mean, if you level the playing field, like that's a different
Everybody
story.
can use them, and what does it matter?
Yeah, but then you look back at everyone else prior. You're like, whoa, like if you go into the Hall of Fame and stuff, it's like, well, we didn't get to use steroids. You need then if that would be true, you need a steroid Hall of Fame and like a legitimate Hall of Fame. You know?
Just make it, just legalize it.
Yeah,
Make
but
it an option.
But everyone like previous in the past years would be like, oh, like our numbers weren't as good. Like I wasn't using juice. Like I would have had better numbers if I was juiced up. You know, I would have played longer. You know, all this stuff.
They could have. It was an option.
They just didn't cheat. Yeah. They just didn't do it.
I think, you legalize steroids, and then anyone who would have used them, you give them like $10,000.
Who pays that?
Taxpayers.
That's nothing.
The doctors that
Listen,
that
you
sell
get
the
what you
steroids.
That's a shit bonus.
Listen,
You can
it's an affordable option.
You can make a lot more money with a guaranteed contract if you're juiced up.
Well, after the fact, you retire like, oh, but I would have played longer. Well, you could have, but here's $10,000.
We need some inflation.
Tax
I was
free.
gonna say it's
Tax-free.
at least got to be tax free.
No, it will be. And you get like Papa John's with it.
Unlimited.
That guy's a racist.
Yeah. 30, was it 40 pizzas in 30 days? Is that what the...
Something like that.
I think his wife divorced him because of that interview. She's like,
that's
you
not even
fucking
impressive.
admitted it?
It's not even impressive. I bet you Kendall could eat 40 pizzas in 10 days.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, that guy's a sellout.
You
And
think you could do 4 pizzas a day?
yeah, no problem.
Larges?
I don't think you could.
Are you talking personal pies?
Oh,
I
personal
think-
pie's no problem.
I think you could do 4 frozen DiGiorno pizzas a day for 10 straight days.
I think so.
What kind of 40 pizzas?
Oh, that's like 10, 15 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, my lifestyle would really change.
You'd be sweating by the last pizza.
But
Like,
think about it. You wake up at 5 o'clock every day, you eat your DiGiorno.
Breakfast.
Can I get some egg on that pizza?
I can someone preheat the oven.
10, 11 o'clock, you have your next. 3 o'clock, and then by 7, 8, you have your last one, go to bed, repeat. That's
Go to bed.
that's nothing.
Listen, I'd do it.
I'd do it.
I think that's what's
I
going
need that
on right now.
$10,000 that you're talking about.
That's a lot of DiGiorno.
That's
That's a lot of
a
stuffed
dough.
crust.
My personal
Yeah.
opinion on the whole steroid thing is this is only really an issue in baseball. And to me, that just says something about the athletes that play baseball versus the athletes that play other sports.
I mean, baseball's a different sport, compared to
Yeah.
all these other sports, you know?
And that's why I don't think they should be called athletes.
Whoa. That's a low
Look,
blow.
I'm going to be honest with
That's
you.
a
I'm
low
sorry.
blow.
Yeah, okay, but David Wells couldn't play any other sport ever.
Yeah,
Hey, he could have been an offensive lineman.
Bullshit.
Yeah,
Those
I-
offensive linemen can move.
Back
They
in that
can.
day, he could have been.
No, he couldn't have. No
I
shot.
don't know. How many people pitch perfect games, though? Like, he did one of them,
But you're not like a physically athletic person for pitching a perfect game.
Baseball is...
You have athletic joints in your throwing arm. You have great hand-eye coordination. You have
you need
great
legs.
depth perception.
You need power in your legs if you're a pitcher especially.
Yeah, maybe a little.
Oh, no, 100%. If you're not throwing with your legs, then you're going to throw out your arm after a couple of years of your career.
I think that an MLB pitcher uses about 10% of the amount of power that a running back uses in their legs.
I mean, they're also not getting hit by like 300-plus linemen.
Thank you. Yeah, it's not a contact sport.
I don't know. Have you seen some people throwing a baseball? They look like idiots just trying to throw a baseball.
I also
it's,
have a big
it's a
gripe-
skill.
I also
It's
have
a
a big gripe
skill
against
set.
these pussies that fucking... And I say
Well,
this...
skill doesn't.
I've been hit in the
necessarily-
head with an 80-mile-an-hour fastball.
You've been hit in the head by 80?
I have.
All right. Crack your helmet?
No, I got hit like in the head. Like no helmet.
Oh, shit. All right.
I hate these pussies that fucking wear these mouth guards after they get hit.
Well, like the ones that cover...
Yeah, like Stanton. Like fuck him. I hate that.
All right, but 80 is not 100 or like 90 plus.
It doesn't matter.
Like you could break your jaw.
I would rather take a 100-mile-an-hour fastball from the pitcher's mound to home plate to the chest twice than take a hockey puck to the chest once.
I don't know. I never played hockey. I can't.
First of all, let's just throw this. A hockey puck's traveling from a really good slap shot person probably between 75 and 85 miles per hour. So significantly less speed. But a baseball is round. Hockey pucks are not. They have edges. And they hurt. And they cut very bad. Big time.
It also makes it a much more compact strike area where the baseball is spread out.
Yeah, if you watch slow-mo baseball videos where a guy's like hitting a baseball, you can see the baseball giving, like kind of like suctioning over the bat kind of before it explodes
hockey
up.
Pucks don't do that.
Yeah, hockey pucks don't do that. I mean, when you see like a baseball like hit like a backstop really hard, there's no white scuff. The hockey rinks are littered with like puck scuffs because there's no give. It just skids off of it like a giant poop.
I don't know. We're comparing apples and oranges here. Like
No, we are comparing watermelons and.
I mean, I'm not saying hockey
smaller
players are some of the
watermelons.
best athletes in the world. You know, they do what normal athletes do, but on ice. But like, you know, baseball, you need a certain skill set. You know, not everybody has that.
Skill doesn't necessarily translate to athleticism.
That's what I'm saying. Like baseball players they're like carpenters. A really good one is hard to come by, and they're very good at what they do.
I really feel like we're getting into sex metaphors here now.
Don't get me wrong, but
we're talking about carpenters there, guy.
Well, carpentry is the sexiest trade.
First of all,
Ask anyone.
That was the best village person.
Septic tank emptiers is definitely the sexiest by all means.
I agree.
All right, so Kyle, what do we get into this bracket thing?
We do it right now. All right, knock it out.
What is it?
So, from 2 weeks ago, we did our coaches and who we thought was the best. So, out of those winners,
I did the coaches because Mock didn't do his homework.
I was misled.
I just want you guys to know that my coach, the coach that I did personally was best at oral.
nice.
All right.
The way he worded it, he's like, we did our coaches, and then we said who was the best. It was just very like 5th grade sexual, you know.
So we took the 4 best, we put them into a bracket of each sport. Now we're gonna fight them. We're all gonna fight our coaches.
Celebrity deathmatch style.
Yes.
Kendall took the day today to create the
I was thinking
claymation
more of
figurines.
Beyblades, but
Took some time. I'm really happy with the way it came out.
No, you're not. You created the same person for everybody.
Yeah, well,
You made Gumby.
Gumby is the goat.
What's the pony's name?
Pokey.
Okay.
And he's the goat.
I take it back. Pokey's the goat.
I was a Gumby for Halloween one year.
Oh, yeah?
Pokey
pretty
is
cool.
like a goat, though. Like, pretty much. The closest
Yeah.
thing to a goat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bovine creature.
So what Kyle was trying to say was we made a giant bracket.
I said.
16 names, 4 from every sport. And we're going to make them do battle. Everyone's coming from their conference. I took the liberty of just selecting what I thought was the 4 best NHL coaches since 2000 because I could have asked these guys to do it 6 years ago and nobody would have came with a name.
I would have got it.
No, you wouldn't have.
Matt Morrow.
Thank you. My point exactly.
Tell me I'm wrong.
You are. You're wrong.
I love when he makes that. Tell me I'm wrong.
right.
Gordon Bombay, the guy from the Goon, whoever coached Miracle.
Kurt Russell.
There you go. That's like one of my least favorite sports movies of all time.
I will say that it is kind of like hokey, I guess would be the word.
It's
but
almost as bad as Remember the Titans.
schmaltzy is the word I'm looking for.
That's
Schmaltzy.
barely a sports movie.
That'd be cool.
Which one? Remember the Titans?
No, that.
It's barely a sports movie.
Why would it be cool? So they can just both leave in the first drive?
Hey,
Hey, James Conner's back. Oh, never mind. Spoke too soon. All right, so what do you guys want to start with? We got so in the north leftern quadrant there, we got NBA. In the uppermost eastern quadrant, we got the NHL. In the south right quadrant, we've got the MLB, and then in the west bottom, we got NFL.
so it's Southeast there, Bob.
I never said southeast.
What I'm going with.
Oh, just it's MLS.
All right, so Southeast is the MLB. So we got first up. If you guys feel like giving some, I know you guys don't remember what you said, but if you guys feel like giving some stats to back up whatever. So in the MLB, we have the number 1 seed, Bob Cox, going up against Terry Francona, 4 seed.
Bobby Cox.
Why?
Well, because the Atlanta Braves were like 7 or 8 like straight NL East
11
even better champions, and 85 or greater wins every year, I believe is the number, and pretty remarkable.
Yeah,
Plus, they just landed a pretty nice pitcher for themselves.
come on, I don't want to talk about that. It's upsetting.
I already bought the jersey. It's coming
My
from
favorite
China.
player of all time, and he fucked me over.
Bought it while I was shitting in the sheets.
I went to the Rangers.
So I'm going Bobby Cox.
I'm also going to say Bobby Cox. He just got a lot out of his team. And the reason why I think Andrew Jones was any good.
Machine washable.
Bobby Cox.
All right, so Bobby Cox. We're up 3-0. So CJ, you could be the deciding voter here if you're going to go Bobby Cox.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say Bobby Cox too.
Okay, Mass, why don't you just say what everybody else said?
All right, Bobby Cox.
All right, I'm going to go with Terry Francona because I'm writing it down. Terry Francona wins. Sucks to be the guy without the pen. All right, up next, the 2 seed Joe Torre versus the 3 seed Tony La Russa.
This one's tough.
Kendall, why don't you let Kyle take the reins?
So, lead us.
To me, I'm going to go with Tony La Russa. And I'm only saying that because he's always didn't have the team that the Yankees have. And he was consistent in the playoffs every year. Like, he was the one that drafted Albert Pujols in the 13th round. He traded for Chris Carpenter, who was not anything special in Toronto, but turned him to an ace. You know, got Adam Wainwright on track. He turned a lot of those guys into superstars.
See, I'm kind of in the Tony La Russa boat as well because his win-loss record is insane. And he had like longevity, whereas, you know, I think Torre's, you know, World Series span was kind of compressed from, we'll call it 96 to 01 or whatever it is. And La Russa kind of had like a span where he won, I think, over, 8 seasons or whatever it was. And he would build a team up, and it would be different every time. So for me, I'm going to give it to La Russa.
Joe Torre. Rings.
I'm gonna have to say Joe Torre too. I mean, if you look at the players that he molded those guys like Derek Jeter, rookie in '95, and then comes out in '96. He had, you know, a young Mariano Rivera. You know, he was kind of the
that guy was old forever.
Old forever, yeah.
That guy came out of the womb at 40.
He always looked the same.
We should check his birth certificate, but you know, he molded, you know, that core 4 dynasty. And if Joe Torre wasn't at the helm and wasn't the guy leading that group, I don't know. I don't think it would be the same kind of team that they would have been for, you know, that whole decade. You know, so I'm gonna have to go Joe Torre.
Mass.
Joe Torre, and Kendall and Kyle are right. You know, the consistency with getting into the playoffs like that
Well, Mass is a Yankee fan now, so.
Mock said it best. Rings. And he's the one out there wearing them. So
Derek Henry
I'm
has
going to go
the
with Torre.
stupidest ponytail in sports. I'm also going to go Joe Torre just because I want to see a nice 1 seed, 2 seed matchup for no other reason than that. So you guys just want to round out baseball as a whole or move on to another?
We'll round it out.
All right, so it's number 1 seed Bobby Cox versus the number 2 seed Joseph Torre. Is it Joseph or Giuseppe?
Joseline.
To be honest, I don't know.
Josephine.
She's out.
Uh,
I don't even know who she is.
Oh, I mean, kind of a quick digression here. Eli just passed Big Ben for 7th all-time passing touchdowns.
nice.
Yeah, Ben will just take care of that week 1 next year.
That's if he plays.
He'll play. He'll be back.
I think I'm going to go with Bobby Cox. The longevity was there. He was coaching since the 70s. You know,
Yeah, we're too bad we're talking about 2009, but
yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
yeah, well, I'm just saying.
You know, for making it to where the Braves were with, they had Chipper Jones, and that was pretty much about it for a long time. And they just happened to keep winning and winning. I lied. That's a big time lie.
Yeah, I mean, they had some pretty good players.
They had a good pitching
You know
staff.
what?
I forgot about that.
Because La Russa lost, screw Bobby Cox. I'm going.
That's a soul's there for his fuck up.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Joe Torre.
Yeah. Now that La Russa's out, I'm out. I'm out on Cox. Get out of here.
So how many votes do we have for Torre so far?
I say Torre.
Torre.
Yeah.
I guess
fucked up.
judging by that, you're also a Yankees fan. You're gonna say Torrey.
I'm a little biased here, but I'm gonna.
That's
You know what's bullshit?
Your fucking
I
face.
forgot. That,
Mass, are you
they
also
had
gonna say
Glavine,
Torrey?
Smoltz, and
Yeah.
Maddox. They're my
Maddox,
Tommy.
yeah. Drink that tobacco.
The pitching staff was insane.
Who was their closer?
Not Bobby Wagner. That was later.
You know that's
Who's the Phillies?
that's Kyle's Achilles heel for MLB. He always talks about how much he knows more about baseball than anybody else on the planet. But he can never remember who the closer was for any team. Always. Who was their closer?
You know, I kind of liked it. Probably could have tobacco in my mouth, but
That was stupid.
You should take another shot then.
Yeah, you fucking forgot. All right, Mark, why don't you go up and pick the next quadrant? We're gonna move into there.
Which one did Kyle say?
Bottom
John
right.
Smoltz.
Or bottom right.
Top left.
Top left. All right, we go to the NBA. All right, so we've got the number 1 seed, Phil Jackson,
I don't like it anymore.
going up against the number 4 seed there, Eric Spoelstra. Just some little statistical background, so no NBA is not the strong suit for those here.
Why is Spoelstra on this?
Hold on now.
Spoelstra has consistently led his team to the playoffs, and who would you have as the 4th?
I just don't like Spoelstra.
If you were here for the names, you'd agree with us.
All right, well, I just don't like Spoelstra. I just feel like, I mean, when he won his championship, he had LeBron, he had Dean Wade. He always had, you know, that superstar to lead the team. Like when LeBron was on, he was coaching basically. Spoelstra was just like the guy babysitting.
Yeah, but in the
team at
last
practice.
5 years, Spoelstra's the reason why that team stayed relevant.
Can you find me a team that won? Can you find me a head coach that won a championship and had 0 superstar on their team in any sport? I'll wait.
I mean, not off
How
the
long
top
are
of
you
my-
waiting?
Yeah.
I'll wait for the rest of the show.
Nah, you
If
could,
you guys want to, you guys can tag team this like the Bella Twins if you want. That's fine with
But
me.
like you didn't have a superstar like LeBron, who was basically like a Bill Russell player coach. That guy.
Yeah, but there's also guys like that don't win.
But LeBron James wasn't the player coach on that team. Eric Spoelstra was the coach on that team. LeBron James didn't become the player coach until the Cavaliers decided, hey, we're going to go the Tyronn Lue route. And he was just like, you mean me? I got this. I got this. Why don't you guys get a little midget in here? A little midget in here. You can wear a suit and tie. Be my puppet. When I make some Nike shoes and some Sprite commercials.
Yeah, now he's the assistant coach of the Clippers.
Yeah, and LeBron's the assistant coach of the Lakers.
Hey.
All right, so anyway, so it's Phil Jackson against Eric Spoelstra. Phil Jackson, 5-time NBA head coach, championship winner.
Phil.
5-time in 2000.
Phil, rings.
That was copyrighted.
CJ, are you also taking Phil?
Yeah, I'm taking Phil.
Mass?
You're not CJ Mass, you're Chris. I've literally never fucking called you CJ. Don't start answering to that now.
That's my name, man.
I'm sorry, CJ.
It's all right.
I will literally drive the
We
Rocky
can call him
Hill
JC.
and break your computer.
Not me.
All of them.
That's not me. I won't answer that.
My uncle saved his life earlier today.
Yeah, you did.
Uncle Phil.
Call
Uncle
me
Phil.
slipping.
Mass?
Yes.
What? Are you voting Phil Jackson?
Yes.
Did you know who the other
Yes
name
to
was?
All right, and then in the second
No.
part of the bracket there, also pretty much, this could be I pretty much think this could be a clean sweep here. We've got the number 3 seed, Doc Rivers, going up against the number 2 seed, Greg Popovich.
Pops.
Yeah,
Also 5-time NBA champion in the 2000s. So just so you guys know that, we're about 19 years into this century. The 2 guys that are about to move on won 10 of them.
Pops.
Yeah. I also say Pops. CJ?
You gotta go Pops.
Michael?
Pop.
Kenny Tunkus?
Pop. Kenny the Rat. Pop.
Chris the Masterpiece Massey?
I like that. Kenny the Rat.
Yeah, gonna go Pop.
Can we start calling him the Masterpiece?
Nah, I'd rather not.
Wow, but it's so hilariously ironic.
He didn't know what that is.
Well, I mean, he knows what a masterpiece is. He might not know what the wrestler of the masterpiece is, but he knows what a masterpiece is. Mass.
What?
If I told you that there was a wrestler named the Masterpiece, what would you think his physique would look like? You think, like, give me a quick breakdown. No, there's no funniness to it. Like, what do you think?
Oh, there's funniness.
Is it ironic?
No,
Because I kind
go
of
with
feel
your
like it's
gut.
ironic.
No, go with your gut. It's to sound like it's supposed to.
I feel like it's ironic, and he
All right.
looks like
Would you think? Okay, would you think he'd be a fat lard, or do you think he looks like a statue?
Like an Arnold Schwarzenegger.
definitely like a fat lard.
I just said it wasn't ironic like 4 times. I don't know how many times I gotta fucking say it. Master, you're a fat lard.
I'm well aware. That's why I thought it was ironic.
All right, CJ, why don't you go ahead and pick the next quadrant? We got south left, and we also have
But we didn't pick
top
the
east.
winners.
Oh yeah, Phil Jackson versus Popovich. Sorry.
Pops.
I'm
saying that because I like him more.
How many NBA Finals did Popovich lose?
Whoa, 2?
1. Just the one to the Heat. Phil Jackson lost also just 1 to the Celtics?
Tomato.
Right?
Yeah.
Kyle, that phrase doesn't really work there.
So they're both 5-1?
Yeah. You can't go wrong with either one. I'm just going to say Pops because I got to see him throughout the whole 2000s. I got to see what he did with, benching his superstars and still winning with Boris Diaw and Raja Bell.
I'm going to say Phil because he won the first 3 with the same Lakers team and then won the next 2 with a completely different Lakers team. Realistically, Pop won not taking anything away from his coaching, but the same team.
Yeah.
He won the same team. It was the same team that won all of them.
Pop. Pop. All
right, so we got 2 Pop.
Yeah. All
Who
right.
you got, CJ?
That's a real tough one. You're talking about a couple of all-time great coaches right there, but
one sucked at
probably 1A and 1B.
Yeah, 1A, 1B, but I'm gonna have to go with Pop. Just the longevity. Both had longevity, but they've run the same stuff like over and over. But it's
the triangle, baby.
The triangle continues. It's something, a little variation,
One guy runs the triangle, the other guy just pretty much drafts people from overseas.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Pop on this one.
There's a pretty good story out there about Popovich calling Tim Duncan and saying, "Hey, we drafted Manu Ginobili," and Tim Duncan went, "Who?" And then that guy grabbed a bat out of midair.
Yeah, that's why I'm going with Pop. He taught him that.
He didn't. He didn't teach him that. Tony Parker taught him that, but then Tony Parker was pissed he didn't need it.
All right, we're gonna release a bat into
so
the
we got
gym.
3-1 here. Are you going Pop or Phil?
You're going to say Phil because you want to tie.
No, because Matt still has to vote.
Matt is going to pick Phil.
No, because I feel like if there is a taint
Vintage
to
Eli.
Phil to
fuck this, I'm going down.
There's a taint to Phil, but it's not even because of his coaching. It's just the Knicks thing of the late 2000s.
So you're going to pick Popovich just because of one thing that happened with the Knicks?
I don't know. Maybe it's a
We're also a Rockets fan, so what do you even care?
What bias is there? I'm tired of this whole Knicks thing with the fucking Phil Jackson. Like you guys would have still sucked. You would have just sucked a little less.
No, and I don't disagree with that. I don't know.
Damn it, we're not the 15th seed. Now we're the 13th seed. Damn it, all the hell.
And he drafted you Porzingis.
Yeah.
Everyone, I was a Knicks fan, and when we drafted Porzingis,
everybody
I
booed
was
him.
upset about that. I was like, why the hell are we doing this? I wanted
the Sixers drafted him now.
Why the fuck are we drafting
I wanted
a
Embiid
Slovakian
or
cornrow
something, but
I think he didn't get Okafor.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
Embiid was not part of that draft.
I think the Phil
Embiid
Jackson thing would have went
I meant
different
I
for
meant
the Knicks
Okafor.
if the Melo fallout didn't happen. I think that left a lot of Knicks fans kind of bitter against Phil Jackson.
Just signing Melo screwed us for years.
I never really liked Melo until I went to Portland.
That's not true. You like Denver Nuggets, Mello.
All right, you're fine. I just don't like Jeff Melo.
Kyle, you say the funniest.
Come on,
thing.
Kendall.
Popovich.
Oh God, such a home. All right, man.
How long do you want us to vamp for, you guy?
It's irrelevant. But
Forever.
who do you say?
I said Pop a while ago.
Yeah, well, I didn't ask you then. I asked you now.
88 was wide open.
All right, CJ, we going north right or are we going with bottom west?
We're gonna go with NHL, so I could go to the bathroom because I know nothing about NHL.
Hey, you still got to vote,
Gee,
man.
shocker! We brought on a guest who doesn't know hockey. So can we get Shane on here more?
Oh well, we probably could. He just lives in Texas.
All right, so I guess I'll just do the voting on this one by myself.
No, I got you,
I'd like
bro.
to vote.
Really? Because you named somebody that wouldn't even be in my top 10.
Hey, is John Tortorella on there? 'Cause
No!
I'd like to vote for him.
Let's talk about it.
All right, number 1 seed is Joel Quinville,
Jean-Claude.
who is 797, 452, and 249 in his career with a 76-52 playoff record and a 3-time Stanley Cup champion, versus the number 4 seed Claude Julien, who is 760, 419, and 246 in his career with a 57-40 playoff record and a 1-time Stanley Cup champion. I vote Joel Quinville. That's all that matters.
I would vote for
Joel Quinville.
I would vote as well. I think just a better stat package.
Yeah.
Now, does anybody care to guess who these two coaches are? Like, what teams are most noted?
Oh,
for coaching?
Calgary Flames.
No, the first one's the Blackhawks.
Okay.
And the other guy, and definitely the Bruins.
Wow, got it. All right, this is a double or nothing. If you get it wrong, you have to drink 5 shots of private stock. If you get it right, you only have to drink 3.
Why do I lose?
That's just the name of the game. Kyle loses. What was the first team that Quinville coached for?
Rangers.
Nope.
You know what? He said that with some confidence.
So I'm gonna go. Mass, who are you voting for?
The Bruins guy.
All right, ass ripper. All right,
Yeah,
moving
I
on to the
just
second
vote
part of
for
the
it.
bracket.
Can you tell me the answer?
St. Louis Blues.
Thank you.
At the 2 seed, we have Mike Babcock.
Ooh, I like that name.
Yep, he has a.
Coyotes.
He coached for 3 teams since in the 2000s. He was the coach of the Anaheim Mighty Ducks for 2 seasons. Which he posted a 69, 62, 19, and 14 record with a 15-6 playoff record and a one-time finals appearance.
Kind of sounds like Gordon Bombay stats.
And then the second tenure there
movie.
was in Detroit, where he went 786, 458, and 223 with a 67, 56 playoff record. 1 finals win, 1 finals loss. And then he's in Toronto currently with a 173, 133, 45 record, 8 and 12 in the playoffs. Going up against the number 3 seed, Brick Sutter. Daryl Sutter. Yeah.
Daryl Sheets.
Daryl Sutter, who was, also did three tenures there.
bill there, Dano. Sorry.
He also did 3 tenures there. His first stint was with the San Jose Sharks, where he went 193, 167, 60, and 14 with a 18 and 24 record in the playoffs. In Calgary, he posted a 107, 73, 15, and 15 record, where he went 18 and 15 in the playoffs with a finals appearance. And then in LA, went 225, 147, and 53 with a 42-27 playoff record and a 2-time Stanley Cup champion.
I've asked you a question. Can you not shit on me for it?
Why are there 4 stats for 1 year and 3
No.
for the other? Oh.
No. Was Jerome Engler there when he was there?
Pronouns, pal.
What?
Who?
The coach. That's the name of the coach.
Which
Daryl Sutter.
Was he where?
With the Flames.
Who?
Jerome Engler.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I asked.
Pronouns, pal.
I did say Jerome Engler.
That sound like Vince McMahon at all?
Well,
I am genuinely curious about the stat thing that you said, though. Why were there somebody for 1 year and...
I think it was like 2003 they took away ties in the NHL.
We're going with Babcock.
In the NHL, before that, you used to play overtime, and if the score was tied there at the end of the overtime period, you settled it in a tie manner. Then we adapted the shootout. Let's get it in the pen. Got some good Norwegian ink over here.
Pass on that.
Straight from the source.
Souls,
I said Babcock.
Mark, Babcock. We're going Babcock or Sutter? Just pretend.
I like Babcock.
I like good cock, too. Hey!
I've
My Baron.
always been a Sutter guy, so Sutter all the way.
Fuck off. Massey?
Babcock.
Babcock.
Coward.
Was he the 1 seed? Did I vote on the right guy?
No, he was the 2 seed.
All right.
Did I vote on the
Underdog.
All right, so then we got the number 2 seed, Mike Babcock, versus the number 1 seed, Joel Quinville.
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 Babcock.
Babcock.
Fuck you.
Mass.
No, Souls.
Quinville.
Because you're waiting to fuck me, and I know it.
Quinville.
Mass?
Quinville.
Come on, we went on to the tie.
Yeah, we would have went to the tie. Guess what? I would have decided because you guys don't know hockey.
I know the next one. I don't want to say it.
All right, here we go. We're moving on to the NFL. We saved the worst for last. Number 1 seed, Bill Belichick of the New England Patriots, going up against the number 4 seed, Tripper Mike Tomlin, coach of the Rapist Steelers. What do we got? Belichick. Say it with your chest, Kendall. Who's the greatest coach of the 2000s? Say it with your chest.
Oh, Bill Belichick, of course.
Say it like you mean it.
I mean it.
Who
Bill
do you
Belichick.
wish coached the Steelers for 2000 to 2000
Jim
now?
Fisher.
Bill Cowher.
Don't you say that. You wish it was Jeff Fisher. What you got over there?
I would take Jeff Fisher.
Say it with your chest and mean it.
No.
Say it. Say it, or I will wish harm upon Saquon every night in my
You've already
prayers.
been doing that. It's
No, but I'll do it in my
It's
prayers.
Bill. Just
Do it in
move
my
on.
prayers.
They need
CJ?
to pearl it down here.
What the Steelers fans said? Did you say Belichick?
I did.
I mean, he's better than Tomlin.
All right. I mean,
You know, Tomlin didn't win a
Belichick.
challenge for like 80 years.
whatever. Belichick.
Massey?
Fins up, though.
Yeah, I'd Belichick.
Is that
Tomlin, what he's done this year though with his squad.
Yeah, he's not coach of the year though. We'll get into that in the hour 3.
All right.
That's a whole nother topic that Paul's fired up about. You little fucking think rat
He's
over
done
there.
some great stuff.
Number
with the
2
squad.
seed Tony Dungy versus the number 3 seed Walrus Reed.
Tony Dungy.
Andy Reid, guy's awesome. Been to more Super Bowls than Tony Dungy.
Yeah, it's also lost more than Tony Dungy.
Actually, I don't think was Tony Dungy there. No, he retired right after that Super Bowl win, right?
He may play one,
but he didn't go there the second time, there, right?
No.
Andy Reid has more playoff appearances. More Super Bowl wins.
I might give it to Reed because for 2 teams bringing to relative great success. I mean, I'd like Tony Dungy a lot, but this is kind of a shorter.
Tony Dungy's analysis skills really doink him down for me. Him and Rodney Harrison could probably suck a couple eggs.
I thought we were talking about coaching though.
Well, yeah, you can't be a coach without.
Let's carry over.
Hey, you can't be till this is done.
Oh man, I'll be quick.
Headphones on.
All right.
If you open up another beer, you'll forget about it.
Pop Belichick.
What do we got? Dungy versus Reed. What do we got?
I got Reed.
Reed.
Going with the offensive guru, Reed.
I also say Reed. It doesn't matter, Souls, but say it.
Dungy.
Mass?
Reed.
Good for you.
Prove
All
it.
Right. Belichick versus Reed. It was just really picking the inevitable loser here. I go Belichick.
Bill.
Reed.
Bill Nye.
Bill.
I'm curious as to what Reed's record is against Belichick.
Like 0-17.
He won last night.
1-16.
Yeah, it's Belichick.
Yeah, Bill. Screw Bill.
All right. You guys want to talk about something else real quick, just so we can elongate this bracket, make it last a little longer?
I'll just have to bail.
If you bail, we all get to punch you in the nuts.
That's not a fair thing.
Is life fair? Mock. Is life fair in the
what's
terms?
aggravating about that whole thing?
Is
Rebecca
life-
say that? Rebecca's like,
Is life fair in the terms of fence?
oh, that's not nice.
But I'm saying, is it?
No, I didn't like that.
I'm not saying it's a shot at you. I'm saying, is it though?
No.
Kendall or Kyle, is life fair in the sense of Cole Hamels?
No.
CJ, is life fair in the sense of being a Knicks fan?
Knicks or Dolphins fan. No.
Massey, is life fair in the way you look?
God, that wasn't nice.
Mean.
Paul, is life fair in the family that you've chosen? No. It's not fair. So, Kendall, you're not pissing.
I got a bad
I don't
body.
care. Just go on, Rebecca. All right.
That's
Greg,
right.
Greg Popovich versus Bill Belichick.
Whew.
Bill.
Pop.
Bill.
Pop.
So you're going to pick Andy Reid over Bill Belichick, but not Popovich over Bill Belichick?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going Pop.
The Reed pick
So we
was
got
just kind
two
of out of
Pops, two
spite.
Bills. Mass?
He said Bill.
Bill. What is the unquestioned greatest coach? We were debating if Pop was.
Well, I think there's still debate on whether Bill Belichick is the greatest NFL coach of all time. There's still debate.
In this list since the 2000s, Bill was the unquestioned greatest
Rebecca.
coach.
Bill Belichick or Greg Popovich? You have to. If it's the answer, if you think he's the better coach, you have to.
You never even heard of Greg Popovich.
I heard his last name.
Isn't he the guy
Sounds
that does the wig
familiar.
out?
Yeah, that's him.
They look the same.
So, Rebecca, who are you picking? All right. Belichick it is. All right, Joel Quinville versus Joe Torre.
Wait, what was that first one? Is that the
Hockey guy.
Yeah, hockey guy.
Hockey- Just call him the hockey guy.
Tory.
Quinville. Without a doubt. There's no bias in that. Joel Quinville took a team that was finishing second and worst in the NHL and had the worst attendance record for fans possible, and in 2 years turned it into sellout crowds that still stands to this day and turned him into a 3-time Stanley Cup champion.
So if we want
7-time Western Conference.
if we want to
appearance.
play devil's advocate, this is 2000s or better, and Torrey did his damage in the 90s. Quinville, and that's my bathroom pass.
Oh, don't suck up to Paul.
Kyle, quick, make it to the bathroom. Go.
Grab me a beer.
Ooh, dodged a bullet there. Oh, FEMA pass.
Kyle.
Quinville.
Ooh. CJ.
I don't know. Kendall kind of got me on that.
You can still be biased. It's okay. It's just
I'm biased, but I'm gonna have. When did that attendance in the Stanley Cup? What years?
2004 to 2013.
13. Okay. Are we talking?
We're talking 2000 to now.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll go Quinville. You know, because of what.
Like this guy. We finally brought on a good guest. Nah, we've always had.
Because of what Kendall said about Torrey did do. He won 3 championships in the early '90s. Only won 2 in the 2000s. So all right.
He got 4. Sorry. Torrey got 4. 96, 98, 99, 2000.
Mass?
Quinville.
All right, Quinville versus Belichick.
Belichick.
Quinville. Belichick had a very long streak where he didn't win any Super Bowls. Very unimpressive. And he also lost to a 6-seed Giants team. Super unimpressive.
I enjoyed that win.
On my
Giants.
birthday.
No one cares.
I can.
You don't care. So the Super Bowl mock cried. He's a pussy.
Whatever, man.
So what are we going with? We've got 2 Belichicks. You said Belichick?
Quinville.
Ooh, Quinville. Mass?
Belichick.
Reed?
Kendall would say Belichick because he loves him.
Belichick versus Quinville. I say Quinville. Rebecca?
Quinville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we all need celebratory beer. It's wrong. This isn't correct, but Quinville, baby.
Good.
And there's our bracket. There it is. All right, what time is it? Perfect, 10:15. Let's go to a quick break, Rooney, and we'll be back shortly to talk about Mike Tomlin not winning Coach of the Year. And just kidding, Kyle. We're going to debate about Coach of the Year award, though. Maybe some other awards in there. And we'll be back in maybe about 160 seconds.
And now, back to Getting Sports with Drunk on the PPRN Radio Network.
Oh, man, the Raptors beat the Bulls. I need a private stock shop.
I got you one first.
Quick round the horn. What do you guys think?
Yep.
All right.
I could kind of go for a cigarillo liquid.
Tobacco flavored.
Pull it up, man. Man, that means I'm going to get
Oh,
last.
come on, no. Oh, good. First down, I could settle with that.
Yeah, that means they have three play action chances
Yes.
to Goddard.
I'll take that.
I've got to
And I'll
score.
take that as
Everybody
well.
here a kiss on the mouth.
No, CJ, I don't know how well you know Kyle, but
Woo.
you're about to.
Kyle will afford himself a kiss in the mouth.
If he scores, I will give you all a kiss on the mouth.
Kyle, I promise you, I would hit you in the ball so hard.
I
you'd
will
cry.
take that for a Goddard touchdown.
No, we're talking. You're gonna cry and bleed.
That's
Ooh,
fine.
yeah.
I will take that for a Goddard
And
touchdown.
Kendall will have to dab you off.
He will take that for a Goddard touchdown.
Man,
Whoa.
guess who's not catching that?
Rebecca, catch
Me.
Coming in, you gotta catch it. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, good hands.
Like, was she just prepared to let it fall?
Oh, rushing touchdown. No.
That place, baby.
It's Boston Scott.
Ugh, the worst option.
Did Ty start him by any chance?
Oh.
Eli, let's get your shit together, my homeboy.
They're just gonna run it.
Why?
Yeah, Saquon's about to rip off an 80-yard touchdown,
Why?
and then Miles Sanders is gonna rip off an 80-yard touchdown, and the game's gonna be over because they're just gonna forfeit due to tornado warnings.
Do it?
That sucks.
What are you doing over there, Kendall?
Just another bottle.
Do you like it?
No.
No.
It's just interesting.
Would you gift that to somebody?
No, I would
would-
drink it.
No, I know you would drink it, but would you gift it to somebody if you had like
I
100
would-
of them?
I wouldn't put
Oh,
somebody
yeah.
through that.
What if you had ice spritz?
Oh, I would never. I mean, I would have all the ice spritz.
So gross. Ice spritz was terrible.
I just love you. He's so passionate.
About disgusting orange flavored champagne.
Tell you the worst liquor infatuation that Kendall ever had though, like in terms of like taste and quality, was the Bobby Abreu wine. That was terrible.
I've never found it again.
I mean, I've seen bottles.
Have you? Well, then
Oh.
why didn't you tell me?
Because they were like $60 a bottle.
No way.
Yeah.
Because they don't make them anymore.
They're collector's items now because they're not just out by the case for drunks.
Be that as it may.
I mean, honestly, the only thing worse than the Bobby Abreu wine was his stint with the Phillies.
That's false. That's when he was the best.
That's not true at all. Nobody was just.
That didn't even sound real.
Nobody was ever their best with the Phillies.
Mike Schmidt.
Raul Ibanez.
Ooh, the flying squirrel.
Hamel's best years are ahead of him.
Yeah. Speaking of shitting on Kyle, let's talk about.
He's got some fire.
He's got some fire. Fire! Fire! Yeah. Last time I heard Mock say that, he said it in a stadium capacity of 40,000 people, and he was just like, "Fire! I can't say that here." All right, so Kyle, I heard that you made a phone call to Mike Mock stating a case for Mike Tomlin Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
Please break down your reasoning. Is Mass back yet?
Mass?
Yep.
Thud! Yeah, I'm here. What's up? Sorry.
Ben got hurt week 2. They started off the season 1-4. Then they won 3 or 4 straight. Then
I know it's your team, guy.
4-5. Then Connor gets hurt. Win a couple more games. Then the whole Mason Rudolph thing happened. Juju gets hurt. Now they're sitting at 8-5 as a 6 seed, fighting for the 5 seed.
I wouldn't hate Tomlin as coach of the year.
You have Le'Veon and AB long gone. All their injuries. Pouncey was out for a little bit. You know, you got Juju hurt. You got Big Ben. You're down to your third string quarterback. I love what he's done. I love what he's done with that squad. You know, and
not many coaches could.
Not many coaches could. Absolutely agree.
He also took over the play calling and defense.
And look at their defense.
Well, that has nothing to do with Tomlin. That has everything to do with the front office getting Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick's been nice. Joe Hayden has like 4 or 5 picks.
3 in the last 2 games.
Yeah, two last night.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I know I have them in fantasy, so I was just ruined. I was like, you know, it'd be nice a pick here, Joe Hayden pick. You know, it'd be nice Joe Hayden pick.
So, the defense has definitely become the defense of, I'm not going to say old, but
they're getting there.
I can't get behind it. I just can't see anybody other than Harborough or Shanahan winning it.
Yeah, me neither.
I wouldn't hate either of those picks.
Shanahan for me is hands down if the 49ers win the 1 seed. If the 49ers win the 1 seed, hands down coach of the year. If the Seahawks can manage to squeeze back in and win the division, I could see Pete Carroll being thrown around for discussion. But for me, it's got to be between Shanahan and Harbaugh. Because the defense for Harbaugh was all but knocked out after free agency left them high and dry, and their defense has been as good as ever. And Lamar Jackson has been 30 times better than anyone projected him to be. Mark Ingram has been light years above and beyond better, and they've been well coached. They haven't made mistakes. Shanahan took a team that won 3 games last year and has taken them to the number 1 seed.
I'm a big Tomlin fan. You know, I'd be happy if he won.
My other argument is all the win streak that we're talking about, cake schedule. Sorry. It's not. I'm not taking anything away from it. They should be in the playoffs. They've been winning the games. And anybody who knows, especially a Steelers fan, because you guys tend to play up and down to your opponents all the time, every year, the games you're supposed to win are the games you need to win. Those are the games that get you in the playoffs. You can afford to lose a couple games to teams that should beat you, but you can't afford to lose multiple games to teams that you should be beating. But for the most part, really, honestly, cake schedule. You beat the Bengals twice. You beat the Browns once. The Browns aren't anything that they're supposed to be. You beat the Chargers. The Chargers have sucked all year.
Rivers has sucked all year, too.
I mean, you guys beat... Who else have you played? You played Arizona.
Right, I don't disagree. And I think,
I'm just saying, it's like...
I do think situationally, I think it is very impressive what Tomlin did. However, I think the way the voting is done for coach of the year, it plays to the hot team, the team of the moment, and nothing short of a Shanahan implosion of the 49ers is a shoo-in for Shanahan.
Of all your guys' wins, the two most impressive wins are probably the Chargers win. No, because you guys beat Brian Hoyer.
Well, I mean, yes, I agree.
You beat Hoyer.
Yeah, but I mean, the team was a contender.
Hoyer and T.Y. Hilton wasn't playing.
It was a contender for the moment.
But you beat Hoyer and no T.Y. Hilton. You beat a contender that had T.Y. Hilton and Jacoby Brissett. That's like saying you beat the Chiefs, who were a contender, but they lost Mahomes and Hill. Are they still a contender without him?
Well, I guess I just think that the teams that they beat were lesser than the Colts.
Right, but I'm saying, you beat Brian Hoyer. Like the Chargers, you still beat like Phillip Rivers, who's a better quarterback than Brissett.
Hasn't looked it though.
But he's still better. And,
Well, I guess I'm
and
gonna put the
Eckler's
Chargers
a better
second.
running back than what they've got, and they have a better defense than the Colts have. And then the other one's obviously the Rams. But outside of that, I mean, like I said, the Bills game will be huge. That'll be a big tell of what the Steelers are.
Bills quietly nice.
I also would not be opposed to McDermott winning it.
They've been
I didn't
very
consider that.
Josh Allen, the growth that he's had, Cole Beasley, John Brown. Their defense has been phenomenal too.
The only thing that's going to keep the Bills, that's going to keep McDermott from winning it, is that they've lost to the teams that they should have lost to.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to still play the Steelers, but they got beat by the Ravens, and then they got. I mean, the Browns. They should have probably beat the Browns, and they should have beat the Eagles. But like they lost to the Patriots.
Well, the Eagle game, I don't really blame them. That was kind of like a really weird weather game.
Yeah.
Right, but I'm saying, but of all the teams they've played, the only two when it all comes down to it that are really going to matter are the Ravens and the Patriots, and they lost to them.
For me, for Tomlin to even be considered one, they have to make the playoffs. If they don't make the playoffs, then he shouldn't even be in the discussion. Injuries, I understand, but if they don't make the postseason, he should be.
But it's just more than the injuries. It's losing your best wide receiver. Great, the Bell wasn't there last year. I'm not going to count Bell. You're losing Connor for basically most of the season. You make the change at quarterback because Rudolph wasn't playing well. Granted, a lot of people saw Hodges playing better than Rudolph, especially in that Charger game. But it's just him making the right decisions this year, except, again, the wrong.
Yeah.
But we see this stuff happen all the time. Why shouldn't Sean Payton be considered coach of the year?
He should be.
But he's not going to be. And he took a team that lost Drew Brees to an undefeated record with a backup quarterback.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd take Teddy Bridgewater over a lot of
But
starting
at the end of the day, it was a backup quarterback, and Kamara was out for some of those games.
He was 3 of those games.
That's what I'm saying. But he's not going to be considered. I will never buy into injuries being the reason a coach should win Coach of the Year. If the Steelers went out and put up a 14-2 record without Ben, Juju, and Connor for the whole year, then sure, I'll give them Coach of the Year. But they're not putting together a 14-2. They're going to win 10 games this year, probably.
I know it's the shoulda, coulda, woulda part. All right, I know,
but they're going to win. They're going to go 10-6, more than likely. If they beat the Bills, they'll probably lose to the Ravens because the Ravens are still going to be playing for something.
Well, it depends.
The Ravens are still going to be playing for something. The Ravens aren't going to.
If the Patriots lose one game, they're not going to have to play for shit.
But who are you going to rest? Mark Ingram? You can't rest Lamar Jackson.
I don't think
You're going to rest somebody that has almost no playoff experience.
The teams do. It doesn't matter.
That's not what teams do.
If they lock up the number one seed, they're going to rest them.
The teams that do it, the teams that rest the young guys, are the teams that lose.
Yeah,
all the time.
Ravens are walking a tightrope.
And Jim Harbaugh's a lot better of a coach than the teams that have rested their young starters and lost because of it.
We saw with the Rams. What was it? 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't think Lamar's going to rest at all.
I mean, this I've said it. I've talked to tons of people about it. I think the Rams have a wonderful team. I think they're a great team. I think they have a great secondary. They've come a long way. I think they have a great defensive front. I think they have an elite running back. They have a great receiving core. They have a good quarterback. They have a good coach. But at the end of the day, I think that their quarterback folds under pressure and their coach is micromanages games.
Yeah,
and that's what caused them when they were the dominant team 2 years ago, and then blew it right after the bye because, oh, hey, we're gonna rest all these guys. Oh, you mean all these guys that have never even sniffed the postseason before? So I don't think they're gonna be resting anybody. Not at all. I don't think so.
Goff is statistically one of the worst quarterbacks being under pressure. He's like bottom 5 in the league.
You get to Goff and you've solved your offensive problems for the Rams.
Just blitz 4.
I think Mass could even agree with that.
You're good.
You saw that live.
Yeah.
It's not pressure. You can't put pressure on him. You have to hit him. You have to get not sacks, but you have to have defensive ends that can actually physically get to him, even if he gets the ball up and then he starts getting shaken up.
You saw that live.
There's not a lot of quarterbacks that when they get hit, it doesn't rattle when you start putting hits on guys, it changes their whole game. If there's that constant pressure, I mean, we see even with with the Brady's, when they start getting hit, the whole game changes.
The only quarterbacks that are never affected by how much they're getting hit are the mobile ones because they're used to getting hit.
Yeah,
the Lamar Jacksons, the Russell Wilsons, the Michael Vicks, the Randall Cunninghams, those types of players.
Well, even Ben, he was never affected.
Yeah,
he wasn't affected earlier in his career. He's been affected by it later in his career. I think Ben gets a little bit shakier now that he's not able to just
he can't
shed
move
off a defensive end and then rip off a 10-yard run.
He could still break a tackle.
Now
he
can break a tackle, but now the 2010 Ben Roethlisberger would shed the Jared Allen sack and then break a 10-yard run after it. Now he's got to shed off the sack and then regather himself and figure out who's coming next.
Yeah.
So then that shakes you up because you constantly feel like you're under duress. You feel like you're playing for your life. And but I just, like I said, if the Steelers were going to win the division and have 13, 14 wins, then yeah. But they're going to go 10-6 probably.
They easily could be in the division race right now.
Well,
I know it's a lot of woulda, coulda, wouldas.
Yeah, but you can't do that.
I know. I'm just saying.
The Bears could be undefeated right now.
Baltimore would have to hit a big wall for that to be kind of a discussion, which is not out of the question. But
well, no, he's talking about like if you had beaten the Seahawks and you.
Oh well,
the
yeah.
Seahawks game would have been a lot, regardless.
Well,
But
whatever. Though, I'm saying, but you beat whoever.
The 49ers should have been a win.
You beat, but I mean, so
it's not an argument though.
It's not. An
I'm
argument.
not making it.
No, I know.
I could sit here all day and say that two missed field goals would have been the difference between the Bears being the fifth seed and being absolutely as far out on the fringe as possible. But I just can't. I can't see Tomlin being the coach of the year, especially because the NFL is one of those sports where injuries are the biggest part of the game. The NFL it's completely derived off of overcoming adversity, and injuries is the biggest key of it. It's the most contact sport there is, and it's part of it. It's always the next man up mentality. And while the Steelers, I agree with you, Mike Tomlin has definitely overcome a lot with the team offensively. He hasn't had to overcome anything defensively. The defense has been pristine. There's been nobody hurt.
Can't lock that. You gotta lock them in.
If you guys had lost maybe Juju, Ben, Bud Dupree, and Joe Hayden, different story. But the defense is untouched.
TJ Watt's been phenomenal.
Right, my point is that the defense has had no adversity to overcome.
And they've added Fitzpatrick.
Right, and they just added something better. There was no adversity to overcome. It was just greatness to add to it. So it'd be different. Like, for example, if Matt Nagy was if the Bears were at a different record at this point in time, if the Bears were only a 2-loss team, I would be more likely to consider him because the defense is the strongest part of that team, and they lost everybody.
I think the only way that there's a stronger argument for Tomlin is, let's say the top teams really fall off pretty hard during this last stretch of games, and the Steelers win out. And I mean like a serious drop off.
But it wouldn't even matter.
Well, I think it might if the records did come out to be closer than they were. Like if you're talking like say the Ravens lose out the rest of their games, if the 49ers lose out the rest of their games, that would in turn that would mean that the Seahawks would probably have a better record to win out. If the Rams probably would have an improved record, I think that would make a case for. But I mean, you said it too. I think we didn't mention Saints.
Sean Payton.
And Sean Payton has had a really good year too, with everything we said, with Breeze going down, Bridgewater coming in playing undefeated. And we didn't mention
who do you guys have left to play? Buffalo, Baltimore, and who?
The Jets.
People were even talking like when Teddy Bridgewater was going off, like is Drew Brees like a system quarterback and stuff. So that kind of just proves the point, like Sean Payton, like what he can do, like no matter who's under the helm or who's taking
Payton's a great
control.
head coach.
Phenomenal.
Never been a doubt in my mind.
And their defense has been something other that they haven't had. Like last year, their defense was one of the worst in the league, like giving up the most yards per game and everything. And they've done a complete 180, with what they have going on the defense.
So it's interesting.
But it's also like you expect that from Peyton, and like you expect that from Belichick, and you expect that from a couple guys. But I think Tomlin's almost one of those guys that you like expect him to like the Steelers to be contending. But like with Harbaugh and who's the 49ers? Shanahan. Like those guys are more like, all right, like we didn't see that coming. Like the 49ers, yeah, we thought they'd be good. Yeah, the Ravens, we thought they'd be good, but we didn't think they'd be 10-2 good. You know what I'm saying? Like it's that kind of stuff that like it catches you off guard on how well those teams are performing. Like no one thought Lamar Jackson would be like an MVP candidate, and the 49ers would have like one of the best defenses in the league. It's that kind of stuff that will put you like from the middle tier to being like considered for Coach of the Year.
Right. That's what, I mean, I know last year Garoppolo got hurt and whatnot, but the 49ers, they finished with 3 wins last year, right?
I think so.
2 or 3.
Here's the thing. Forget Garoppolo being knocked out. That has nothing. I mean, the emergence of Kittle obviously was huge, but the defense last year was a joke.
No, I know, but what I mean is, again, it was a 2-3 win team that in a season is the 1 seed. Like that is a drastic swing. You went from the number 2 pick in the draft to the number 1 seed in a season. Right. That's incredible.
That's why I think he has the strongest case. But I mean, to circle back just for a second, the credibility of the Tomlin discussion is taking a offensively injured 1-4 team that many sports writers and the people that matter of the sports world wrote off.
Us.
Right. Well, and us too. Us being
we matter.
Well, we do matter, and turning it to 8-5, and that is impressive. Now we don't know how the Steelers season's going to finish. We, as Kyle and I, we hope for the best, and I think that at this time right now, week 14 of this December 9th, that matters as a conversation, and that's it. So will he win? Well, perhaps not, but it is a noteworthy discussion.
It definitely solidifies us fans and how good of a coach he is. Because at the beginning of the year, I was one of those fans that said, you know what? I'm kind of tired of seeing Mike Tomlin. He losing challenges, makes a lot of dumb plays, losing to all the bad teams.
He does make a lot of weird decisions to like it almost looks like he's trying to lose games. And we saw it at the game we went to.
We saw it last week when they went for the fake punt.
But it's not like they go up big and they just, or not even that they go up big, just they're winning. And he just tries to like get cute and too conservative, and he does it a lot. And I mean, it doesn't always bite him, but we've seen a lot where it does. And
my problem with Tomlin is the only problem I've ever had with Tomlin is that as much as we have seen the greatness from him in terms of winning games, Tomlin is definitely more responsible for costing the Steelers games than like the players are. Like just because like he's an aggressive coach and there's nothing to be wrong with that, but it's something you got to be as a front office you have to be willing to accept. Like, hey, if we're gonna ride with this guy and all the great things he's gonna do, we have to be willing to take the publicity for all the shit he's gonna cause.
Like the problem is that like we all like this might be Mike Tomlin's last year. Realistically, it probably wasn't. The Steelers do not fire coaches. Bill Cowher retired. Only reason why he wasn't the coach.
Yeah, how many coaches have they had? Only had
3.
I was about to say they only have had like 3 coaches.
Browns have had 3 coaches in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
You've only had 3 coaches all time?
Since the 60s or early 70s. When Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you.
No,
I'm
just saying.
I missed the first part.
That's just
crazy to think about. Yeah, exactly.
And they've always had some sort of success.
If you look at the Dolphins, like we just filter them out like a revolving door,
Well, that's the thing too. I mean, just devil's advocate, to say they don't do it isn't a reason to not do it.
Right.
Like,
no, I agree.
I understand what you're saying. Like, because the Giants were the same way. They didn't fire, but I mean, McAdoo had to go.
It's just you see organizations that across all sports, you see organizations that there's certain organizations like Toronto, the Raptors, for example, that they know when enough is enough. And then you see teams like the Steelers who are just, they hang on the what if factor. Toronto was like, okay, we have a great roster. We have great talent. Dwayne Casey's not getting us to the finals. Let's move on. They go out, they get Nick Nurse, takes him. Granted, they got Kawhi Leonard, but coaches him to the NBA championship. Okay, Nick Nurse is still doing amazing things with what everyone is projected to be a non-playoff team this year after Kawhi left. He's doing a lot with Spicy P and Fred VanVleet. And then you have the flip side of things where you have like the Steelers. I'm not saying this is specifically just the Steelers, but like, okay, Tomlin consistently gets us to the playoffs. And after a while, because, I mean, when's the last time you guys went to the Super Bowl? 2010? Right?
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying it's just the Steelers. This is just the example we're working off of. I'm not shitting on the Steelers, but it's like, it almost builds this mantra that's like, all right, we're on 9 years of playoff runs. I'm content with making the playoffs.
No,
as long as my coach is getting us to the playoffs, good with me. That's all I care about. Extra payday for everybody. We got to the playoffs.
Well, it's
all
like
that matters.
the NFL is much different than like the NBA, because you see teams like go through coaches like water, and you can't really justify it. It's harder to make the playoffs in the NBA in the NFL than in the NBA. There's 6 teams compared to 8.
I buy it. I buy what you're saying if we're talking about the NFC. I will never buy that for the AFC. Our whole lives, the AFC has just been a fucking wide open door for 4 teams.
Yeah, but like
really, but honestly, up until this year, I mean, but even this year, it's the Patriots. It's always the Patriots, the Ravens / Steelers. Now it's the Chiefs. It was the Colts. That's what it's been. I mean, the 2000s, it was Patriots, Steelers, Colts. Early 2000s, Patriots, Rams, Colts. Now, Patriots, Ravens, Patriots, Ravens, Colts. Patriots, Steelers, Colts. Then it was Patriots, Steelers, Chiefs. Now it's Patriots, Ravens, Chiefs. Like, it's just, there's no adversity to it. I mean, you look at it like, you look at the NFC, I mean, you have 2 teams. You have a team that has a record in the Seattle Seahawks that could be good enough for the 3rd seed, that at best is probably going to get the 5 seed.
The NFC has been more competitive for the past 10 years than the AFC has been.
And the thing is the NFC, and that dates back to even in the early 2010s, you have 7-8 teams duking it out the last 3 games of the season, just fucking fighting tooth and nail to get a playoff spot, and you have a whole division that's pretty much going to finish under 500. That's just how tough the NFC is. That happened when Seattle made the play. I think that was the year Green Bay won the Super Bowl. Seattle made it to the playoffs with a sub 500 record, first team to ever do that. Yeah, but you had a whole division that was sub 500, and that year you had the Lions, Bears, Packers, the Giants, the Eagles, the Cowboys. You had the Saints and the Falcons all fighting hard as shit for a playoff spot that year with a whole division.
You guys want to know a fun fact? Speaking of records and possibly not making the playoffs, it's possible for the Seattle Seahawks to lose out, I think, 2 of their games right now, and then lose to the 49ers in the last week of the season. And if all the criteria are met, they'll miss the playoffs at 11-5.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing has been coming up about changing the seeding in NFL. I don't know.
NFL already said they won't do it.
That's right. There's no traction.
That would be absurd for them to do that. I would be so pissed. It would be the dumbest thing in the world.
I would too, only because the
it's
record,
been this way forever.
And it's proven that doesn't matter, because when the year that the Seahawks went 7-9, they beat
the Saints.
The Saints in the wild card round. The Marshawn Lynch and Tyler Columbus forever.
But I'm just saying, it would be so. I would be more apt to the change if this was the first time that it ever happened, but it's already happened, and it happened almost a decade ago. It's not like this is something that we're on year 2 in a row now of a sub 500 team making the playoff. No, this happened a decade ago. Sometimes shit just happens.
The only argument though isn't the sub 500. It's just the fact of a team that was worse making it over a team that was better.
But that argument that's been an
argument. I know.
But that's been an argument for the past 20 years in the NBA. Where you have 6 teams in the Western Conference that have better records than the 6th seed in the East that don't make the playoffs. It's just the way it is.
I mean, if the
way it is.
If the Giants win this game right now, the Cowboys are in the playoffs with a 6-7.
Here's the
record.
question.
my gripe.
Is this considered a upset if the Giants win?
No.
I just think the NFC East is horrible.
The Eagles,
Yeah.
the Eagles are bad. Carson Wentz sucks.
Yeah, I started him. My fantasy
But, like,
season rides on.
My gripe is, and I can say this, and I can say it in full honesty because there's no biases on it. If there's a Bears fan bitching about how we didn't make the playoffs, but the fucking 6 and 10 Cowboys get to make it, all right. Well, you should have beat the Chargers, you should have beat the Eagles, and you should have beat the Raiders. You win those 3 games, and then that's not even a factor because you're probably tied with Green Bay for the division lead. So there's no sympathy.
Yeah.
Win your division. That's always goal 1 from kickoff week 1. Win the division. After 17 weeks, then it becomes Super Bowl. Win the division. Wild card is exactly what it says. It's a wild card. It's a shot in the dark. You don't have any guarantees. You win your division, you're guaranteed a playoff spot, and you're guaranteed a home game. The Seahawks, look, they might have a better record and they might be a better team, but they should have beat the 49ers and they should have beat the Rams. They beat the 49ers and they beat the Rams. Guess what?
I mean, they did beat the 49ers. Let's play them again.
Whatever, but they should have beat the Rams. They should have won these games. I mean, you win these games. If you're an elite team, you win the games.
It's like you said earlier. You win the games you're supposed to win.
When you start,
if you're an elite team, then you're supposed to win those
nobody's
games.
going to be pegging the Cowboys to be Super Bowl champs. But it's been this way forever. You win your division, you've won a playoff spot, and you've won a chance to host a playoff game. That's
look
how
at
it's
the
always
year that
been.
the Giants went in and
The year the
won
Giants
as a
beat the
6
undefeated
seed.
Patriots, they won it as a 6 seed.
Yep.
The year that the Packers won the Super Bowl, they won it as a 5 seed.
That I didn't know.
Yeah, that was the year the Bears won the division that year, and they beat the Bears in the NFC Championship game. I mean,
I think the first time the Giants were the 5. The second one they were the 6.
whatever.
No, I know. I'm just.
Let me boast about my team.
No, I'm just.
Eli
saying.
just had pitch of the century.
Yeah,
That was a very funny play.
I've never seen a flea flicker pitch. It's pretty cool.
Softball pitch.
Yeah. Well, good on them for getting a negative play on that.
Let's go Wentz. Give me a touchdown. Overtime would be nice.
yeah.
But
right,
the playoff
so-
seeding, playoff reseeding would be absolutely fucking absurd.
Don't think they should do it. I just know it's come up. It comes up every off season, and
It's the same concept for everything when it comes to the NFL. The people that bitch the loudest are the ones
Are
that
the
feel
Saints
that they were
fans.
wronged.
And also the Saints fan.
Jesus Christ. I'm saying, it's like the Saints thing. We talked about it before. It's like we have 477,000 pass interference challenges and like two changes.
I mean, on your point on that, I feel like there's a couple of them, like the DeAndre Hopkins a couple weeks ago. There's a couple of them where it just looks better if the officials are correct on that. It's tough when the officials have to go out and you have to continuously say.
But I'm going to say this: if the NFL continues to do what they're doing, which is making everything, pretty soon you're going to be able to challenge 12 men on the field. That's just the way it's going. Pretty soon you're going to be able to challenge 12 men on the field. Pretty soon you're going to be able to challenge official cleats. That's just the way this NFL is going. And there's going to be so much bullshit that it's going to slow down games, and there's going to be so many fans that feel that their team was fucked by this reversed or non-reversed call. It's going to turn fans off, and we're going to see fans stop watching. Because they're going to be so frustrated.
Yeah, and it slows down the game, too.
Here's a prime example. Yesterday, I watched 0 football. 0 NFL football. I can't anymore. I watched the Bears. I will watch not 0. I did watch the second half of the Rams Seahawks game for fantasy investment. That's the only reason.
Fantasy has saved.
But
the
that's a
NFL
fantasy
leadership,
investment. But it's like I can't anymore. It's just too much bullshit. The game is so slow and monotonous now because everything is just reviewable.
I think there's a lot of people, and especially in this room, can agree that when we started watching football in the early 2000s, it was a really fun time to watch football. And you know what? Because it held back to a lot of rules and stuff that really didn't need to be changed. Like, there's stuff that they changed that didn't need to be changed. And I get it for player safety. I'm not here like, oh, I want players injured, but it's an aggressive sport. Do you think that the wedge block on the kickoff needed to be changed? Do you think they needed to move up the kickoff position? I don't.
But it's just like, stop dancing around what you want to do. Just fucking do it. You want to eliminate kickoffs altogether, then just do it. Stop eliminating run-ups. Stop eliminating overloading on fucking onside kicks. Just get rid of them. Just get rid of kickoffs. Okay, here's the deal. You're down 14 with 2 minutes to go. Stop making it impossible for teams to recover onside kicks. Just fucking tell them they can't do it. You don't get the onside kick. You just don't get it.
If your options
are either kicking it off and hoping for a 3-and-out, or you get to take it from the 1 and do a 99-yard drive with no timeouts. Those are your options. Just get rid of the fucking kickoff. Stop dancing around it.
They changed things that had no reason to be changed. And
the game is turning into self-officiated football. We're going to have no more refs, and it's just going to be two coaches that are just saying, well, that was pass interference.
See, a lot of it comes down to also is the fans. Like you said, stuff happens, and then people gripe, and then it just drives the change because people threaten this. We're going to ban the NFL. So they make changes for the fans, and then
everybody hates them.
We don't like them. We gotta.
I think the change on the being able to review pass interference was for the Saints specifically.
But it came out. That was the big thing because we've talked about it on the show. There's been games where this happened. This just happened to be in the NFC Championship, and
it happens.
Sure, you can look back and say this cost the Saints the game, but really,
no, it didn't.
It didn't. They got the ball, and Breeze turned it over.
Yeah.
And now again, it could have cost them the game. It could have, but it didn't.
But you didn't see the Rams bitching about any of the missed penalties?
It happens
because there were a lot.
There's missed penalties all the time. It's just the NFL and the MLB are the worst. The NBA is doing it too. Don't get me wrong, but it just sometimes the NHL is just like it's the greatest. They institute They institute one or two major rule changes, and they're for the better. Like they instituted. Coaches have always been able to have a challenge in hockey on something, whether it was goaltender interference, whatever. Like a couple years ago, they instituted the challenge of offsides. Something that, and you can only challenge offsides if it results in a goal. That's it. That's the only time you can challenge it. You can't challenge offsides if they have the puck in the offensive zone for 65 minutes and are just killing clock. You can't do that. You can only challenge it if it results in a goal. That's it. Because it's a game-changing moment. The NFL, you can challenge pass interference on a 1-yard screen pass where the guy got tackled. Oh, the running back was tackled. Oh, but there was pass interference. Let's challenge it. Let's waste 45 fucking minutes to challenge something to move the ball 6 yards. Something that has no effect on the game.
The only difference, again, devil's that is that play could affect the game because
you know why it doesn't affect it. But you know why it doesn't affect the game? Because constantly challenging it, and you're seeing it this year. Guess what? Refs don't like being challenged any more than coach. They're not going to overturn it.
Yeah,
and even if they do overturn it because it turns out to be blatant, guess what they're going to do? They're going to stop calling pass interference. So now your player's going to be getting fucking face masked all game, not catching the ball. I'm not throwing the flag. Not throwing it. I don't want to have to risk this being challenged and overturned. I don't want to look like the fool. And you're seeing it. The MLB is the big proponent of it. We need to get automatic pitch. We need to get pitch clocks to speed it up. We're going to have automatic pitch umpires for balls and strikes and shit. Let's just ruin it. Get rid of the game. Get rid of it. If you're going to keep doing this shit to the NFL, the MLB, the NBA is doing it with coaches' challenges in the NBA, are you fucking kidding me? Just televise a live season simulator of the NFL. Just put people in there, put the NFL stars in there, have it do a fantasy draft where Ninja hosts the Steelers and drafts for the Steelers and just auto simulate the game. Just auto simulate it and see who wins the Super Bowl and give them a Lombardi after 25 minutes of simulating the season. Because it's a giant fucking joke. Human element has been a part of the sport and every sport forever. For fucking ever. We talked about it earlier with the steroid thing. Mm-hmm. CJ said, guys would be pissed off that, about their numbers because they didn't get to use. How many people are going to throw gripes against a strike that was called a ball or vice versa that ended up costing them a World Series game if you have an automatic square from an umpire that determines exactly what's a ball and a strike. There's there's a square that they put on with their fucking little lens that puts a little zone in the lens. The ball was not 55% or more inside of the zone, so it's a ball.
There's no error.
There's zero error. So what happens to all the guys that lost Game 3 of the World Series and ultimately ended up losing the World Series in 7 games because of that? Or whatever.
That's true.
It takes out all credibility. We see it all Kendall and I have talked about this before, stat changes. The number one reason, there's been arguments for it for over 15 years. If an NBA player if Ben Simmons passes the ball...
Oh.
Should I think you have to move your car? Are you in the driveway?
Nope, I'm on the road. That's Kendall's car.
Oh, that's just Kendall's car that's in there? All right, sorry. But we talked about... We talked about it before. 15 years now, they've been talking about it. Kyle, 15 years, right?
Correct.
If Ben Simmons... You don't even know what I'm talking about. If Ben Simmons...
Stat correction.
No, it's not stat correction. If Ben Simmons passes the ball to Joel Embiid down low, and Joel Embiid goes up for a dunk and gets fouled and takes 2 free throws, if he makes both free throws, should it count as an assist?
No.
They talk about it. If he makes both, it's just the same as if he made the 2-pointer.
I agree, but I don't think it should.
Right, but if they did that, assist stats would mean nothing.
Yeah.
They would mean nothing anymore.
Well, would he have to make both or just hit one?
No, he has to make both.
Yeah, I mean,
assist
he
stats
didn't
would mean nothing.
He didn't assist on him scoring those free throws.
But they're looking to just ruin everything.
Yeah.
You just don't see
Yeah,
it.
I mean,
You
a
don't see it in hockey.
human error does
You
come
don't-
into
you don't-
play.
You don't see it in hockey. And you know why you don't see it in hockey? You want to know the real reason, in my opinion, why you don't see it in hockey versus these other sports? Because the rest of these sports are legitimately worldwide sports. None of these other 3 sports are worldwide sports anymore. Baseball is big in 3 areas. Basketball's big in...
I don't know. Basketball's up and coming. It's
Basketball,
big.
but
China. The whole thing with China. It's a big deal.
But really, it's China, select European countries, and the United States. Hockey is huge in all northern parts of Asia. It's huge in all European countries for the most part. It's huge in Canada. It's huge in the United States. It's played in South America. I mean, it's legitimately a worldwide sport where other countries have influence on what happens in our national league. Because our national league is an actual oxymoron of what it is. It's not a national league. It's an international league because we have so many Canadian teams. There's the Raptors in the NBA, so we can get away with that. There's the Blue Jays in the MLB. We can get away with that. But there's fucking 8 hockey teams in Canada. There's just so much more world jurisdiction that goes into how the game's played and what should happen. The NFL, it's completely jurisdicted on what 48 continental states think. That's it.
That's true.
And the games are being ruined. The NFL's not fun to watch anymore. There's no more joy in it for me. 0 joy.
NFL, no fun league.
I agree with that, and what I was saying before is that fantasy has been a huge part in what's kept up the NFL viewership. Like you said yesterday, the only reason you watched the second half was fantasy implications.
And you want to know something too? I've said this before. Fantasy helps with viewership, but it ruins the game even further.
Yeah, I mean, because you're rooting against I'm rooting against the Dolphins.
You know how many times I've watched Kyle sit there and cheer on? It could happen next. It could happen next week.
Yeah.
It happened. Kyle will sit there. Kyle won't shit on the Bears if we're watching a Bears game. But Kyle will sit there all the time, like, I hope the Bears win, but I hope Cooper goes for 150 and 2 touchdowns. So the Bears, you want them to lose, Kyle.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you fucking want.
Yeah.
Every single person at this table is guilty of it.
Oh, absolutely. Was the Dolphins
ruins
Steelers
it.
Monday night football game. I had the Steelers starting defense, and my buddy had the James Conner, and I'm rooting against my Finns, and I'm like, I need the Steelers to shut him out, and James Conner and not do nothing.
And that's why I don't really have relative success in fantasy football, because I don't play people that play my team.
No, it did not.
I don't play people that play my team. That's why I don't draft division opponents, because I'll sit them twice a year.
I do the same thing.
I mean, I wouldn't draft Aaron Rodgers more because I won't be able to play him twice versus my hatred for him.
I don't draft any Patriots players. I never draft Julian Edelman. The only
But it's
only Patriots player I draft is Goskowski.
This year, football was so ruined for me with all the rule changes that I had at least 3 games where I left somebody on my team that either had a bye week or was out with injury. Because I just don't care.
Massey was pretty good at that.
But I don't care anymore. And honestly, I'm going to tell you guys
We
this:
should go
it's
with
going to be
that
the
2
same.
weeks ago.
It's going to be the same thing next year. Kyle had to text me and tell me to change my lineup. Otherwise, Mock would have had a runaway win this week. Because I was just going to leave hurt people in and whatever. It's ruined it for me. Fantasy doesn't even bring enjoyment into watching the game anymore.
When there's money on the line, I'm very invested in this Monday night game.
You got to
right
put it
now.
into perspective too. I mean, I joke and bitch from time to time, but I don't care if I come in ninth place. I just like to play it. In fact, I'm kind of bummed that it's going to end for me after this week because I enjoy playing it. It's fun, and I'm the same deal. I don't pick other AFC East, AFC North opponents. I don't pick Patriots. I don't really even pick Packers. I picked a Packer one time because I had a guy who was injured. I just wanted to fill a lineup.
You picked Eddie Lacy with the first overall pick
It's projected to be the best running back
by Yahoo Fantasy.
by everyone.
Yahoo Fantasy.
By everyone.
By Yahoo Fantasy.
You know why? Because I was told to do as much research as I could, and I did. It was lied to. So screw
Kendall,
you guys.
Again, for the 347th time, looking at what Yahoo ranked a player is not research.
It was not to do with Yahoo. I looked everywhere. I had the first over pick for the first time ever, and I panicked, and I did everything that people said because that's what I was told to do. So screw you guys. You guys can tell me nothing.
The
3
best
running
part-
backs, 49ers forever.
The best part about that is, I tell you, I give Kendall the credit because he rode with him.
Hova.
He rode with him.
Kyle, did you lose by a point?
No, I'm done by 2. Eli Manning has the ball.
They're just going to run it
Why would they do that?
because they're going to play. They're going to play for overtime and take the loss.
I would take that. I just won my fantasy playoff by 1 point. As long as Wentz doesn't turn the ball over, which could happen.
Pick 6 in overtime.
That would be horrible. I would hate that.
All right, so
See, I look at fantasy in a different way. Because, I mean, again, we were talking about it, Paul. Like, I want the Giants to win first and foremost. If the Giants win and I lose in fantasy, then whatever.
but is that true though?
It is.
But okay, so let me ask you a question then. In all seriousness, Week 16, the Giants win, but you lose by 0.1 points in the fantasy football championship. You're fine because the Giants won?
Of course, I'll be like bummed about it because it's a whole season worth of fantasy. But week in and week out, if the Giants win, that's my priority. I want to watch my team win games. But when they don't, fantasy supplements it.
But to me, it makes it even worse because it's like, okay, wow, okay, the Bears just fucking got blown out by the Chargers. Oh, and I'm losing by 60 in fantasy.
Well, then, yeah,
That's just
it
double
compounds
kill,
it. That's
yeah.
a bad Sunday.
And winning in fantasy doesn't make the loss of your real team any better.
I don't know with the
Softens it.
Dolphins. I feel a lot
does it
better
soften
when I
it?
win. I win something.
Winning a meaningless fantasy football championship softens your team not making the playoffs.
Yeah, when I win a couple $100, I'll take that
I don't
over.
know.
Dolphins haven't made the playoffs since we ran the Wildcat, so I'll take a couple $100 over that.
That's a funny way to say
I'm
that.
different. I'm also like different because like my team's not contending. I've also put aside the fact that the Dolphins aren't making the playoffs.
You just see so many fucking things happen because of fantasy football. I fucking hate this player. Why? Oh, because he only put up 4 points in fantasy, and now I have a vendetta against him for life.
Kyle
Oh,
Rudolph, fuck
okay.
him.
I mean, that is ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
For no reason.
Yeah, that's true.
No, it's not for no reason. You hate Danny Amendola for that reason.
Well, I hate him because he's a Patriot.
No, you didn't. That's not the reason you
You
hate
hate
him.
because you had 25 on your
That
bench.
is, no, but listen, you know why I had to pick him? I never would have picked him. I picked a guy who
You
was
picked him
injured.
because he was cute, huh?
No. Well, I mean, he's adorable. But
Who did you originally pick?
I can't remember, but I mean, 16 beers deep, and I picked a guy
To
who
put that out there.
who was
The guy who was hurt.
who was not going to play at all this year, I guess. Or
Kyle, who was it?
I guess.
And I had an option. I either got to keep the guy who wasn't going to play, or I got Danny Amendola. That was the ultimatum I was given.
So drop him.
Kyle,
you
you
held
don't.
him for-
Kyle, you don't drop the guys you pick. You got to stay loyal. They
false.
have
I drop a
feelings.
lot of guys.
Gotta stay
Caleb,
loyal.
that right
That's why
there.
you're in ninth place.
Well, you guys are sellouts, all of you.
Patriots acknowledge production crew inappropriately filmed field sideline of Bengals Browns and accept full
Oh,
responsibility.
wow.
So
What source was
to
that?
go back to the Eddie
Espen.
Lacy pick,
Espen.
that was the same season, Kendall. You were offered Antonio Brown for Eddie Lacy, and shot it down.
And you know why? And it's
Because
so
I have to stick with my picks.
and it's stupid, but you have to stick with your guy.
But what did you do with your first round pick this year?
Traded him.
You
Julio
gotta
Jones.
stick with your guy.
No. That was the first overall pick.
Doesn't
Doesn't make a
still.
difference.
First overall
Yes.
pick was Julio Jones.
No.
Years
Okay,
ago, it was Eddie Lacy.
Because that was the
On
guy
the
who was
Seahawks?
projected to be the best.
I understand that.
So that is the only implication to that being
So you would trade the second overall pick, but not the first overall pick.
correct.
That's
So you're an idiot.
blasphemous.
You're an idiot.
That's
You're doomed for
blasphemy.
ninth place forever.
You
That's not
traded
true.
Yeah,
him.
that
Because
sounds
I
about
because
right.
I already won it all. So screw you guys.
Did
What did
you?
you say? It doesn't. Yes, I won the whole fucking thing.
I didn't
Once,
see. Did
it
anybody
sounds
else?
like.
Did anybody else
Once.
here ever see him raise up a trophy? I didn't
It
see
was
him.
not.
Did
Awful.
anybody else see him cash
was
a check
not-
for some money
Who had the best fantasy season ever?
and lost to Zach Stacy?
Ever.
I
Got
did,
blown
actually.
out by Zach Stacy.
I went 14-2. My team went not bonkers that year.
Kyle, are you serious, Kyle?
Yeah.
I had Peyton Manning to 55 touchdowns.
That's
Right.
great.
I had him too.
That's great. And
And Julius
he
Thomas.
lost to Zach Stacy. Blown out by Zach Stacy.
Won the championship. Not blown out.
You lost by over 25 points.
It wasn't 25.
It
It
was.
was like 14.
It was not. You
Well,
lost
then
to
let's
Zach
let's
Stacy.
bring up the stat sheet. 'Cause I'd like to
actually,
be reminded.
my quarterback was Ben Roethlisberger because he put up 55 points, then 90 points.
That was the year that he threw 7 touchdowns and then like 6 touchdowns.
You know, after that 96-point performance, Kyle traded me, Ben Roethlisberger, for Ryan Matthews.
Yeah, I was desperate for a running back.
All right, beer reviews.
I had Tom Brady.
With what you just said about the Patriots said they filmed it, they said that they were doing it for behind the scenes web
Yeah.
series Do Your Job, and they got credentials from the Browns, but did not inform the NFL or the Bengals, and they said that their film crew inappropriately filmed the field from the press box. So that's just a little tit for tat.
That's
on
Bill
what
being
the-
Bill, baby.
I need 30 yards, Eli. Can you give that to me?
So they technically on one side were allowed to be filming, but they weren't
be-
allowed to be
It's
filming
going to be
what they
great
were
when Eli
filming.
throws a 30-yard pass and then fumbles it.
I hope not for a touchdown. Actually, if the game ends right now, I win, so I don't care.
All right, beer review, Souls.
Super Duper Double Citra was fantastic as always.
You know, I had something to say, and it was going to completely go against what I just said about wanting the Giants to win, because I just want Kyle to miss the playoffs so bad. It was going to completely contradict what I just said.
Mox?
I need 50 yards. Eli.
The Lizard King, I think it's all right. You know, it's not the best beer I've had, but I give it a 3-star. I'd buy it.
CJ?
The Dogfish Head, American Beauty, Hazy Ripple. I mean, I like hazy
It's
beers.
part of the Grateful Dead series.
Is it really?
Yeah, the Grateful Dead bears on it.
Oh, Grateful Dead. All right. Oh, yeah, there we go. We got the logo right there.
Yeah.
I'm not a deadhead myself, but I appreciate their music. I mean, it was good. It was quality beer. You know, it definitely had that AZ, had some aromatic, hop components to it. But I think I might have spent a little bit too much on the 6-pack, to be honest. So it was pretty solid. I'll give it like a 7.3.
Wow, it's pretty high. We only go to 5.
That was above and beyond then. All right.
Mass, did you enjoy a beverage?
I did not.
It's bath water.
Can you give me a rating on the beverage you didn't enjoy?
We'll go.
5 out of 5 would get it again.
Yeah.
All right, Kendall?
I had the Mugga Joe from Still Hill Brewery of Rock Hill, Connecticut. 8.2%. Coffee stout. I mean, I've had this beer 10 million times, and this is the first time I've had it. Would I get it again? It's a very average.
You've had it 10 million times, but this is the first time you've
What I
had
mean
it?
is, I've had a coffee
That's a
stout.
Kendallism.
Oh,
that is
okay,
ta-
okay.
that's
It's one of those
exactly
Kendall
the
thinks he's
same.
funny things.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying.
I didn't pick up what you put down, so.
What do you guys think of the tobacco beer or tobacco vodka?
It's so good. I want it again.
Jules, would you put some money where your mouth is?
Actually, Kyle, I took the liberty of soaking in unused snus pouch.
You don't want that.
Ew.
I want you to try it.
I do not.
No.
Come on.
Ew.
It's unused. There's an unused snus pouch.
That looks nasty.
I'm a psychopath.
I'm
not that
quivering
bad.
over just looking at it. Ugh.
Kyle, what if I put dip spit in there?
Talk about it later.
Ugh.
With the time you put the dip pouches in your mouth.
What are you doing, Eli?
Souls, I poured one for myself. This one here.
Dude, give me the fucking bottle, kid.
Yeah, I had some minty notes.
Good thing
I don't
you
know,
get.
that's just
Good
what
thing
I
you get
was
50
picking
points
up.
for game-winning field
It
goals.
is odd. Like it was very odd.
I finished off with the American Beauty Hazy Ripple, courtesy of CJ. It was a serviceable IPA. Like 7%. It's kind of crushable.
Definitely crushable.
Definitely would give it. I'd give it 3 out of 5. I'd get it again. I don't know what the price on it was. My guess is probably $12.99 a 6-pack.
No, it was $15.50.
Oof, that's a little
Yeah,
steep.
that's what I'm saying. I'll probably give it like a 2.5 because of the price put
Yeah.
into it. Because I'm like, hey, like if I'm paying $15.50, I want some like
Bang for your buck.
bang for your buck.
How close
It was.
that
I've had some hazy like the Wally Juice by Wachusett. Like
15
I think I'll
shots.
put that over that, and I think the Wachusett's a little cheaper. So if you're gonna go with a hazy IPA, I'd go with the Wally Juice from
That's fair.
Wachusett.
For a guy who's never been on the show, comes in with a top, beer
Better
review.
thing than you've ever done, Ken.
I will say. I mean, I like everything.
I didn't even understand what you said in your review.
Well, I'm a drunkard, that's why.
I've had this beer 100 times one time.
100 beers.
But
What's that?
Listen, I talk in rhythm and rhyme.
Yeah, he's right.
The first beer I had was the
Screen pass.
Bourbon County Brand Mon Cherry Stout from Goose Island. This year's one of the flavored editions of the Bourbon County series. It was a home run. 5 stars. It had a little bit of velvety to it. It wasn't overly boozy, which is what I kind of feared. I thought it would be a little bit more of that barley wine style, which is very boozy on the first couple years. This is definitely going to be an age-friendly beer. I'm glad I got 7 of them. Dropped a lot of bones on Bourbon County this year. But, yeah, it was just phenomenal. You could taste the cherry in it, and you could get that graininess from that granola and oat. Like, it was definitely, like, it had some body to it, but nothing over the top that kept it too heavy. It was actually almost kind of scary. It was kind of like light drinking, to be honest, at 14%. But this will be a good one, probably, I would say, after year 3, once it gets up to about 18.9%, 19%, somewhere in that range.
I'm going to have to try it out.
The cherries will definitely come through. You have to find one, like, now.
Now?
Oh, yeah. In 3 years, this guy will probably go for about $65.
Give it to God.
No, I'm not gonna. I actually liked it, and I'll probably save him for me.
Why would he give
Don't give the beers to Goddard. He's
Yeah,
playing.
We're just
You don't want him drunk.
where can people like CJ find us on social media?
Be sure to find us on Facebook and Instagram at Getting Sports with Drunk. Twitter is GSWD_4.
Make sure to use the hashtag GSWD for all your daily uses. Whether it's enjoying an extremely limited Bourbon County brand release beer or ruining your Sunday with fantasy football.
Subscribe on Podbean, iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. We're live here on PPRN on Spreaker. And we've kind of been talking about it on our social media pages, but Lieb Sports Network is making a return.
They're back.
They're coming back in 2020. I'm not sure if they're still going to be on, because they were on TuneIn.
When the hell did we talk about this?
I've been posting about it the last few days
On
on Facebook.
Why did I not see this?
Oh,
I blocked the podcast account.
The guy that runs Lieb, Nate, is bringing his station back come January, so we'll be in there with him, streaming on his channel.
Nice.
Well, here's good. The Maserati flew by.
But check out the Peter Pino show Wednesday night, 7:30 to 10:30. The Rat, I'm sure, will be running the board.
So Pete's in California. So
Is he Skyping in?
I guess so.
That's what he said.
That's what we're trying to figure that out. The next week he's in Chicago. So I guess I'll be running the board for the next 2 weeks.
Is this Street Pete?
Street Pete?
My boy.
Yeah.
I was wondering where he was.
Hey, he's training for his new job.
Oh, what was he doing?
He's doing something like
Dinosaurs.
Yeah, he's
Was he Ross Geller?
yeah.
I
He's got
much
the
appreciate that. Alan Graham for a sufficeable answer, thank you. Ian
This-
Malcolm.
this coffee company. He's gonna be in charge of repairing the machines.
Okay.
Starbucks? No, I'm just kidding.
That coffee company. All right. I'm a Dunkin' guy myself.
Me
Punt
too.
the ball.
I don't go to any place.
I
Where
can't afford Starbucks.
I don't go to any place where they need to know my name for me to get a coffee.
Yeah.
Here's my
I've
gift
applied for
card.
student loans with less information than I've had to give for Starbucks.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So CJ, thank you for having us on. We hope to see you again. You were
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
You were a
guys.
lovely guest. You came.
Appreciate
You were
it.
very knowledgeable, and you gave great insight. Most of our guests tend to
Appreciate
not
it.
talk too much.
That was a
Appreciate
lot
it.
of fun.
Yeah, I had a blast. Thanks for having me. Hopefully, I'll be on again.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Riddler, what are you giving me this look
Just
for?
a giant ass kisser. He was so great. I hope he works for me on Saturday.
I am working for him on
Yeah,
Saturday.
I know.
Well, listen, our
Look, the best thing you can do is quit.
That's all right. I'm getting out in a month.
That's
I'm
why
I'm leaving,
our time is numbered.
It
Listen,
is numbered.
Honestly, I'd get out sooner if you could. I would fuck him over.
I need that. I need the paycheck. That's all.
no,
I'm
if it
saying.
sounds lame or anything, I mean, this was like my number one hire.
Yeah. Hey.
Wow, fuck you,
Kendall.
Mock.
Kendall.
Fuck you, Mock. Fuck you, Mock. You dick. And who was the other guy that was on 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago?
Mike,
Fuck
K.
you, Mike.
Yeah.
Fuck everybody.
Kendall
Good for you, CJ.
replied to my email in like less than 12 hours. He was like, "Hey, yeah, come in, please. Like, let's do this."
You guys have to understand the situation is bigger than is described, and that's all I can say.
Yeah.
You're a rat fuck who was a douche since you got the promotion, and you suck at fantasy. You have no skill.
He does. He's not good at fantasy, from what I.
And for the first time in my
Ninth
life, I
place.
hope
Ninth
bad things
place.
upon the Steelers because of you and not Kyle.
Oh, well, I've never said anything mean about
What's
the
fucked
Bears.
up?
Kyle deserves all the
Take it
hate.
to me.
Kyle hates the Bears.
Blame it on Kyle at least.
Yeah.
But Kyle
I've
hates the
always,
Bears.
I've always rooted for the Bears.
That's not true.
If you go back and look at every pick'ems, this guy's picking the Bears.
Speaking of, hey man,
How about the
you should
first-
fill those out.
Did you pick the Bears on the first Steelers trip we went on?
We didn't do it then.
But would you have?
No, because I picked the Steelers.
Well, then you're not a real Steelers fan.
Well, I mean, that is a ridiculous comparison.
Yeah, I can't wait for Mock to
example.
bring home the Miller High Life Girl Tin Tacker and let his dog shit on it.
You wait until you don't have any tires in your car.
Seems
I
excessive.
don't think you know how to change them.
Ooh, I'll show you.
Throwback from the beginning of the show.
I can't promise
Kendall
you
doesn't know how to change
I
tires.
promise you it won't be quick, but I can do it.
It'll take 2 hours. How do I jack up this car?
Is this a car at all?
Can you pick this up for me while I put this tire on?
Well, thank you for tuning in to another live edition of Getting Sports with Drunk, live on Spreaker.
Next week.
Mass, are you there?
Yep.
Excellent. You've been so quiet, I forgot you were even there. But we'll be back next week, and then the week after that is our Christmas show. And then the week after that is the Drunkies
That's right. Are we doing eggnog again in 2 weeks?
for
Listen,
Christmas.
so we don't have.
Yeah, and actually, our Drunkie episode will feature a long overdue Thanksgiving shot that everyone will be partaking in. I
I just
recommend.
forgot all about
I
it.
recommend CJ, if you choose to come on another show
Hey,
this calendar year, that's the show.
I'll come back next week if you guys want me.
More than welcome to come. whenever
CJ,
you
I
want.
want you to understand something real quick.
Yes.
If
He's
you
gonna-
thought this, if
he's
you
gonna
thought the
fight you
Snuff
because
Pouch was
his-
gonna gross you out. You do not want to be there for the Thanksgiving shot.
Thanksgiving passed already, Massey.
No, we're doing it though. We're doing the Thanksgiving shot.
What's the Thanksgiving shot?
You know what Thanksgiving dinner consists of?
Yeah.
That in liquid form.
Turkey,
Yeah.
cranberry,
Yep.
stuffing.
Yep, red wine
What?
and gin, all blended together.
I'll do
Yeah.
that. I like that. Sounds like some protein and some booze.
Bring him on.
Let me
Let's
tell you
go.
something.
It sounds
It
like-
doesn't taste very good.
Pretty
I'll-
much,
hey.
pretty much, there's gonna be a
Alright,
garbage can
so,
between Mock and Matt.
Do we
Mock
agree
and
that you're
Kyle.
gonna be on the show next week?
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
come back. I'll come back.
Matt,
Next
no,
week-
Kyle, we're not doing this.
I'm doing it.
No,
because
because-
you got. They will figure out, and Mass needs to hear it. Because I will forget to text.
It's subject to change though. Don't announce it on the
it
air.
ain't gonna fucking.
It's
change.
subject to change. We're not going over it. We'll text it after.
Oh.
All it takes is you being sick or having to go to Burger King, and we won't be doing this
I
segment.
will be here.
Burger King's all right.
Or having
I
a
prefer McDonald's over Burger King.
Go fuck
all right.
I wish we had another hour.
Yeah, we'll debate the fast food
That's the
industry.
king himself you're talking to.
Until next week, I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler,
I'm Mark.
Sheen Washable.
Nope.
I'm Ojito.
I'm CJ.
And I'm the Red Baron.
And we forgot about Mass, you asshole.
Sorry, Mass.
Until next week, I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler, Sheen Washable.
I'm CJ.
Wait, what? You fucked this up again.
Okay, I'm going to do this one last time. It goes me, Mock. It's going to go Kyle. It's going to go CJ. Then it's going to go the Mass. Then it's going to go the Red Baron. Because this is the last time I'm doing this until next week. Because I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler,
I'm Mark.
Sheen Washable.
Nope.
I'm Ojito.
I'm CJ.
Mass Chris Massey.
And I'm the Red Baron.
The rat.
Rat Man.
Yeah.